Hey, how's it going, you guys? My name is Justin, and welcome to My Dream is to be a Model, Not a Maid. This is a game by Team Anpim on itch.io, who I've heard good things about. I didn't know about them previously, and I just saw this game as part of the Yuri novel jam that's going on right now, and I wanted to play this. And I was reading the reviews, and a lot of people were saying good things about it, so I'm excited to play it. Let's just go ahead and jump in. It's a kinetic novel, so I believe there's just one ending. It's just you play straight through. The door to the cafe swings shut behind me, and the bright sun blinds my eyes. I take a sip of my now lukewarm cup of coffee and walk towards the station to get to my interview. The cup is still 3/4 filled, as I was too busy admiring the hot worker working at the shop to even consume my drink while I was there. Oh, that's your mistake right there, getting distracted. You need that coffee, you need the energy. I recall her long brown hair swept to one side in her black uniform. How dreamy. Now she was quite the sight. When was the last time I've seen someone that hot in real life? No, not just hot, handsome. How can a girl be so handsome? I wouldn't mind giving her my number. Maybe I will. I giggle to myself like a high school girl wanting to give a letter of confession. But that will have to wait till the next time I come around. I have more pressing matters to worry about today. The interview for the modeling gig isn't until 10 a.m., and I'm more than prepared for it. This is my dream I'm chasing. I've already sacrificed so much for it. I literally cannot be prepared for these. Can't not be prepared for these interviews. Oh, sorry, that kind of threw me off. Now, only if an agency would finally accept me. I can't even remember how many interviews I've been to in the past month or two. So many interviews, yet they're all the same. I hand over my portfolio, get asked a bunch of questions, answer, post some, and walk some, and then I leave. At this rate, I practically know the ins and outs of at least 15 agencies out there from all the intense research I've done. Yet I still haven't gotten a call from any of them. However, a gut feeling in me is telling me that this is going to be the interview. That one that's going to follow through. I just know it. I open the notes app on my phone and jot down the memo on my long to-do list, but notice I have less time than I initially thought. Oh shoot! My legs pick up their pace in fear of being late to the interview and creating a bad image for myself. I swear I still had at least an hour. Calm down, Akane. If you walk fast enough, you'll still make it in time, or if you get rid of the coffee in your hand, you can even run. But that'd be such a waste. I blame the cute barista for making me overstay at the cafe, though how can you blame a face like hers? I chuckle again and decide to speed walk to the nearest station. In no time, the bustling station is finally in sight and I start walking even faster in fear of missing my train. If I miss this coming train, I'm bound to be late. Although it's past rush hour, there are surprisingly still a hefty amount of people walking in and out of the station. I tuck my portfolio under my arms to search for my transit pass, all the while rehearsing answers to potential questions. Oh, where is it? I swear I put it back in here when I used it earlier. After some failed attempts of blindly filling my bag, I use my eyes to roam around the inside some more and eventually spot the slim piece of plastic. Aha! There you... Well, I can already tell you she's gonna be late now. As if it wasn't enough that I was already running late, cruel fate decided to add something extra on top of my worries. Oh, sorry, I usually would continue on my way given that I'm in such a rush, but the huge brown stain dripping from the other girl's shirt makes me freeze in place and drop my jaw all the way to the floor. In my mind, I've already connected the dots as to what happened, but my eyes wander now to my empty right hand that was holding my coffee and then to her clothing to double check. Just how did I manage to pour it all over her? That's simply not possible. But the sight in front of me says otherwise. From her cardigan to her shirt, down her skirt and even her heels, what used to be a clean set of outfit is now drenched in an unappealing brown liquid. My gaze travels to her eyes, and I wish they hadn't. Yet never make eye contact. Now you're gonna hear it. Her face is furiously red with anger, looking like she wants to strangle me on the spot. Do you know just how much these clothes cost? They're my favorite clothes, too! She menacingly takes a step towards me and I flinch while my fight or flight instincts kick in. She continues yelling at me about how I ruined her outfit, and despite how loud she's yelling, her words aren't registering in my brain because I know I'm in big trouble. Another stomp comes my way and I gulp. I just can't keep standing here, I'll die. That means there's only one thing left to do. Alright, what's your bright plan? I want to see this. Alright, it's perfect. Flawless. She just zips off the screen. Oh, that was great. Which isn't an exaggeration. I can hear her furious footsteps right behind my heels, and even the station gates can't separate her from me as she follows me through the electronic gates. Where are the station patrols to catch people who aren't paying when you need them? Every time I turn my head around, I'm met with her stained clothing and murderous aura. And also, just how is she running in heels? Yeah, actually, she's pretty skilled if she can do that. Have you ever, like, put on heels? I know I'm a guy, but I've put on heels before just to see, like, how hard it is to walk in them. It's very hard. It's really, really hard. I practically fly up the flight of stairs to my designated platform, hoping it'll slow her down, and luckily it creates a rift big enough for me to calm down a bit. But I can't relax just yet. Up ahead is my train, and if this doesn't get rid of her, I don't know what will. With all my remaining stamina, I race into the train cart just as the doors are closing and finally cease the wild goose chase. Through the glass windows of the train, I can still see her gaze piercing right through me, and for some reason, I can still sense her murderous intent, even though there's a surefire barrier between us. Our eyes lock onto each other until the train starts to move, and I leave her alone with her clenched fists in the far distance. Okay, I'm gonna go on a limb here. Is the plot twist here that she was one of the girls that was gonna be interviewing her? That would be funny. You would definitely just want to walk out at that point. You're not getting that job. I'm still catching my breath as people eye me weirdly like I'm a runaway fugitive. I slump down into a seat and manage to properly catch my breath. What? What just happened? I almost got killed, that's what. Though no doubt, I'd be just as mad if someone were to spill coffee on me like that, especially if it were my favorite clothes. My head intuitively turns and looks out the windows. I'm expecting that woman to still be chasing me. I would be a little concerned if she could catch up with this train. If it weren't for the doors... I can't talk. If it weren't for the doors of the train cart, I'd truly be in more trouble than just being late to my interview. What could possibly go wrong next? Oh, just you wait. I'm sure something worse will happen. If I could just have one thing that goes right today, I just want my interview to be successful and finally get hired as a full-fledged model. That's all I ask for. I check my phone again to see how much time I have left before I really have to panic. 9:40 a.m. At least time is still somewhat on my side. Now that I don't have my coffee in my hand anymore, I could probably make a run for the agency's building and still make it on time. If all that running just now, I've definitely shaved some time off. Haha, maybe it was kind of lucky that I bumped into that girl. Yes and no, because I'm sure she's a love interest, but at the same time, I'm sure you're going to bump into her again, and it's going to be a little awkward. Not only did it make me run and save time, all the coffee somehow spilled onto her, and I didn't even have a drop on me. Take a look at my clothes to double and triple check if any did land on me. Nope. Incredible. Thank you, random stranger that I spilled my coffee on. She's thanking her. The irony. My body loosens up after realizing how fortunate I am despite ruining someone else's day. Now, where was I with the practice questions? Thank you, Tanaka-san, for coming in today. We will contact you after we have made our decision. I stand up from my chair and give a 90-degree bow. Thank you for allowing me to partake in this interview. I'll be taking my leave now. I step out into the bright sunshine once again after a 30-minute interview session with 3 super intimidating interviewers. Been to a fair share of interviews, but the others usually make you feel relaxed and comfortable, while these guys straight up had poker faces on. I couldn't read their faces at all. All I know is that the vibe wasn't right, and it just feels like I'm not going to make it. Again. I walk towards a nearby bench and sprawl my arms out as if I had just finished a marathon. The bench I rest on is warm from the sun's heat, and its light blinds me as I stare into the sky contemplating my life. As I expected, the interview was just like every other one that I've attended. We'll contact you when we make a decision. Yeah, that means they're not going to contact you. If there's anything I've learned from past interviews, is that it usually just means rejection. There's still a chance they might, but I don't have high hopes. It's pretty much like, that means we're gonna call you if like we have literally no other options. Just how it goes, you know? I can't help but sigh in disbelief. Why do I keep getting rejected? Probably because you run around spilling coffee on people and then running away as fast as you can. That's a little sketch. I'm hot, I'm cute, I'm pretty. What more could they ask for? I'm the perfect candidate. Also, you seem to be a little into yourself, but okay. I've only done some side modeling for friends and small companies. I may not be super experienced, but I'm determined to climb my way to the top. My grip on my portfolio tightens in vain. I'm getting older by the day, and as much as I want to keep chasing my dream, I feel like it's only a matter of time before I have to let it go. One more time. No, a few more times. I'll give up after a few more times, maybe, even if I don't want to. But I don't have just my dream to worry about. I gotta worry about finding a new job. If I don't land a stable modeling job to even scrape by, I better start looking for another part-time job. And this time, I won't argue with a customer again, even if they're rude as hell. Yeah, you probably shouldn't do that. It's not worth it. Unfortunately, in business, the customer is always right, even when they're wrong. And not only that, the landlord is randomly kicking me out and I have to find a new place in 2 weeks. Who does that? I drop my head to my knees and bury it in my arms. It's like running away from home all over again. This sucks. Leaving my parents right after graduating high school and coming to the big city was the best and also the worst decision of my life. It's tough as hell, but oh, the freedom and autonomy is amazing. I wouldn't have it any other way now that I've gotten a taste of it. Even though my naivety got the best of me, I still managed to find a decent place and a decently paid part-time job and survive to today. So what's stopping me now? Nothing. I sit straight up and breathe in deeply from my rediscovered courage. If I manage to find a place and a job during that period of time, alone, nonetheless, I can do it now again. I'm Tanaka Akane, and no one can stop me. Yeah! I shoot up from the bench with a fist in the air without a care in the world as to who's looking at me being a weirdo. I got this. Once I get home, I'm gonna make lunch and then I'll continue looking for places. And then I'll look for job listings. All the while, I'll continue waiting to hear back from those agencies, and maybe even possibly look for more to apply to. Yeah! As long as I have a game plan, I'll be set. I got all the time in the world, and I shouldn't be wasting it sitting here moping around. I grab my portfolio and bag from the bench and pump my fist in the air again. Alright, let's do this. Gosh, she has so much energy. Must be that coffee that she didn't finish. With my newly charged resolve, I spin on my heels to trek back home, but instead meet a man in a tailored suit approaching me with a gleaming smile. Excuse me, hi, I'm a scouter for Shine Agency, and we're looking for models for an upcoming magazine issue, and you seem to be the perfect fit for the role. When I first saw you, I knew you were the right one, and we just have to have you. I eyed the man up and down, and even though he looks legit, there's a huge chance that these are those scammers that walk around scouting women to trick them into some sort of messed up stuff. I'm not about to get myself into even more trouble no matter how desperate I am for a modeling job. Here's my business card if you're interested. Please contact us as soon as possible. Feel free to do some background research on us if you're doubtful. I can assure you we are a reputable and a legitimate company, always doing our best in accommodating our talents with an above average pay. He offers the business card with both hands towards me and gives me yet another beaming smile. What a good Japanese man. I'm pretty sure that's a very Japanese thing to use both hands to like give out something. I guess he could be legit. Oh, sorry. I guess he could be legit. He's got a business card after all, and he's not telling me to pay for anything. Maybe this could be my big break? Taking his business card wouldn't hurt, right? My hands hesitantly reach for the card that's handed to me, but just as my fingers brush against it, a familiar yet unfamiliar voice comes crashing down my hopes and dreams. Oh boy, I wonder who this is. Out of my way! The voice is filled with anger, loath, and most importantly, vengeance, with an expression to match. In the blink of an eye, the man with the friendly smile gets shoved to the side rudely and met with an unwanted bounty hunter. She's in a different outfit now, a sharp-looking pinstripe suit that looks more expensive than the one I destroyed. Her sharp eyes alone are enough to stab me in the chest, and not in a romantic way either, though I'm sure she could if she smiled sweetly instead of giving me the stink eye. But there's no way I'm getting a smile out of her anytime soon. You! Oh, not you again. My body reacts immediately and I start to escape, but in a split second she latches onto my wrist tightly with no intention of letting go. You owe me for my clothes. Ow, 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 ow. This woman pulls me closer to make sure I don't run off again, and our faces are just a bit too close for comfort, but what's bothering me most is her strength. Her grip is surprisingly strong, her nails digging deep into my skin despite my long sleeves acting as makeshift armor. You're not getting away this time. I try shaking her off, but to no avail. She's bent on keeping me here. You not only ruined my clothes, but you made an absolute fool out of me. Just how are you going to make up for everything? Look, I'm sorry for what happened earlier today, okay? I really didn't mean to bump into you like that. I just wasn't paying attention to where I was going, and it was an accident. That doesn't change the fact that you made me a mess of my clothes. Yes, I know already. So what? Can't you just wash them? No. I'm pretty sure you can't wash an expensive suit like that. Just throw it in the laundry. You don't wash suits. I've all of a sudden forgot about the man earlier, and I looked to him for help, but the crazy woman shuts down that plan faster than I could call to him. I'm talking to her. The man meekly flinches and shies away, soon running off like a dog with its tail between its legs. Wait, no, come back! I didn't even manage to get the business card yet. He could have been a legit scouter and I could have landed a gig. His figure soon becomes a mere dot as he runs into the distance, escaping the huge scene. Now I'm mad for this idiotic and childish argument happening between two grown women. I mirror her enraged eyes and stand up straighter, asserting my dominance. You just made me miss a potentially huge opportunity. And you made me late to an important meeting for a potentially huge opportunity because you spilled coffee on me. I guess that's only fair then. Now pay up for my damaged clothes. Odd, okay, fine. If I pay up, will you freaking leave me alone? Just then, her scary face softens up and forms a huge condescending smirk. Oh, so you want to pay up? Gosh, it's gonna be like way more money than she can afford. My teeth and fists clench knowing I probably can't even pay her for a quarter of the outfit, but I just want nothing to do with her ever again. Well, I gulp in anticipation, wishing I didn't ask in retrospect, like how I wish I didn't bump into her in the first place. That's probably was your best idea, just not to do that, but, you know, we're here now. Can't be that bad, right? Bruh. I think that's like somewhere around $7,000. That's a lot of money. I'm just totally taking a guess on there. My eyes open as wide as the Marina's trench. I can't believe my ears. 760,000 yen? Who is this rich girl? The Psalm Brown jacket was 300,000. The Alejandro McKing purse was 250,000. Comme de Filet shirt 60,000. Bottega Veneta skirt 100,000, and Jimmy Kudo suede heels 50,000, which you managed to spill your coffee all over. I almost faint from hearing the price tag of each article of clothing. And I respect her for knowing exactly how much each of those cost, you know? If you're rich, it's like, what do you care about the price? Just buy whatever looks good. But she knows exactly how much each thing was. You're joking. You're telling me she was wearing designer brands from head to toe? There's absolutely no way I can afford to pay her back for all that. I barely even have enough money to pay rent, and now I have to pay 760,000 yen for someone else? I'm screwed. At this point, I can't even fight back. I shouldn't. I don't have that kind of money, at least not now, or ever. I don't even have a job anymore. How am I going to fork up that amount of money? I've been living paycheck to paycheck. I don't even have enough in my savings. Then how are you going to pay for all the damage? I know it was a huge accident, but if she can afford to buy all that, she can buy it again, can't she? What's the point of bullying someone poorer than you to pay for your stuff? I don't know. All I know is I don't have that money right now. Either you give me some time or you figure something else out. In one last desperate attempt to get out of this mess, I try to wiggle out of her grasp, thinking I can run away, but it's no use. I'm trapped. Maybe crying and getting pity points might make her more willing to give me a lighter sentence. Besides, I actually do want to cry right now. I prepare to bring out the crocodile tears, but her phone starts to ring. Mikawa Aoi speaking. Mikawa Aoi. Even the way she answers her phone sounds like a stuck-up rich kid's way of answering. Whatever that means. Unfortunately, I can't hear what the person on the other line is saying, but it sounds like something fishy is up, not gonna lie. I told you not to go in! Oh, shut up. Why don't you do it for me then, since you're there already? I just don't have the time. Alright, I'll find someone. Ooh, drama. The rich girl aggressively hangs up and stares at the floor with furrowed brows, looking distressed as if the sidewalk did something bad to her. Her hand is still holding onto her arm, but with a lighter grip. Thinking this could be my chance to escape once and for all, I take a step backwards, but her eyes dart towards me, subtly freezing me in place again. I stare back at her with a nervous expression. I expect her to resume yelling at me again, but her eyes widen like she suddenly reached an epiphany. She pulls me closer with a somewhat evil-looking smile and speaks in a stern but calmer manner. You don't have the money, right? Fine. You can pay me back in another way. Pay her back in another way? What could it be? With my body? She's hot, but I don't want to pay her. Anyways, in what way can a random bum like me pay her back without using money? What if she's the daughter of a well-known fashion designer? They just so happen to be in search of a model because the one they called in went AWOL, and now she's asking me to be a model for something? Oh my god, I can pay her back without breaking a sweat if that's the case. Be my... Her face lights up, knowing that I may have imagined too much. Model. Maid. You're close. Just a few letters off, you know? You were almost there. Almost. So close. Huh? It's the perfect plan. She points a finger at me with a smile I can never thought she would show. You're gonna be my maid until you pay off what you owe me. My hopes and dreams have been shattered yet once again. What are you talking about? Well, I need a maid to cook and clean for me because I can't do either of those. Only because I'm too busy with work. If there was an award for most unamused and deadpan face, I'd win. So you're telling me to do volunteer work as your maid? It's technically not volunteer work. You're earning money, but the money goes back to repaying your debt. She's gone bonkers. What sane person would agree with that? How long do I have to be your maid for? I'm not going to live my whole life as a housemaid. My dream is to be a model, not a maid. Then pay up. Easy as that. That sly smirk of hers appears again, knowing she's right. And honestly, she's just mocking me at this point. I hate this pompous, spoiled, spoon-fed. Wow, you don't gotta be so mean about it. My teeth grind in anger, especially because I have nothing to argue with. I feel so pathetic. It feels like accepting the offer is the only way out, and it's so frustrating. Cooking and cleaning? I mean, I'm pretty decent at both, but how long do you expect me to work for? I'm not planning on being your maid for my entire life. You know that, right? Let's see. Minimum wage is around 1,000 yen, and let's say you work a regular 8 hours per day. That means you'll be 8,000 per day. Multiply that roughly by 30 days, you get 240,000 per month. Your total repay is 760,000, so a little more than 3 months, or more specifically, 95 days. It takes me a while to get a grasp on the numbers flying over my head, but what she says seems to make sense, I think. Whatever, I'll calculate it when I get home, but I start thinking more deeply about the whole job offer. Is it worth it? Would it be better to find a normal job and pay her back like a normal person would? I either do that or be her maid. Clean and cook for her, and that's it. Wait, that doesn't sound too bad at all. I assume she's living alone, right? Then it should be pretty easy, no? Her eyes are still staring intently at me with a determined look. Does she really think this is a good idea? All I have to do is cook and clean, is that correct? Her expression remains the same even while answering. Correct. My eyes close as I breathe a deep breath, calling myself down as I triple think my answer. It's only 3 months. It might sound long, but I'm sure it'll pass in the blink of an eye. There's no going back. Fine. I'll be your maid. Good answer. The girl sinisterly flashes a smirk, but I manage to wipe it off in an instant. Under one condition. Her brow twitches in annoyance, clearly fed up with me as I am with her. Her words come out in a low tone, accompanied with a slight growl to her voice. You're in no position to give me any conditions. Give me a place to stay. Without paying attention to her, I hand over my conditions if she wants me to accept the deal. Her confused look makes me want to smile, but I don the face of a businesswoman. A place to stay? You already owe me money, and you have the audacity to ask me for a place for you to stay? Not just any place. Your place. Let me stay at your place while I'm your maid. Her eyes squint at my proposal, clearly about to refuse it, but I'm not going to let her. If I play my cards right, I can save time and money if I get her to let me live with her. I prefer not to have a roommate, but I'd rather that than the stress over finding a new place. I wouldn't have to worry about rent for the next 3 months. Woo! That is, if she takes my bait. Think about it, Mikawa-san. If I get to live with you, I can clean and cook in a flash. There'd be no need for transit, so you won't have to wait for me to get to your house. What if there's traffic? Your dinner won't be ready in time. Your laundry won't be done. Now, isn't that inconvenient? If that doesn't convince her, I don't know what will. I know no one likes roommates, trust me, I don't either, but think about it. You'll be getting the most bang out of your buck. Her eyebrows furrow as she looks around, and I can almost hear the cogs turning in her head. Only the sounds of passing vehicles and passerbys surround us as she makes her decision. She's a smart businesswoman, she has to take it. There's no reason not to. Once again, our eyes meet for what feels like the billionth time, and she slowly nods. Okay, fine. But you know, just one thing, a maid is all you are, and you're living with me, and don't you dare poke your nose into my business. With my free hand, I hold it up like I'm surrendering to show that I'm not hostile. No problem. Hook, line, and sinker. Yatta! Don't have to worry about rushing to look for a place at the time being. She holds out her phone towards me, with a note-taking app open, ready for me to type. Give me your current address, and I'll have the movers come over the next 2 days. Now, are we moving a bit too fast? You don't even know my name yet. Write your name down along with the address, then. Wow, she's moving pretty quick. Oh gosh, that's a weird way to put that. My new master is still holding onto my wrist, probably afraid I'd run away again, so I fill in the details skillfully with one hand. Now, can you let go of my wrist? It's hurting a lot. The tight tension around my wrist is finally freed when I think there might be a bruise by tomorrow. Her phone is now safely put away in her purse, and she looks at me with a small smirk. See you soon, Tanaka-san. And with that, she saunters away from me, disappearing into a parked car nearby. The black car drives away promptly, leaving me in the dust with only my shadow and I. After standing there like an idiot, I decide to pinch myself on the cheek to see if this is all just a dream or not. Ow. So I'm actually going to be a maid starting from tomorrow. Cooking and cleaning. I'd like to think I'm a bit above average at both, considering I've been living by myself for the past 6 years, but will it reach the expectations of a princess? Who knows? But it can't be that hard, right? I began walking to the station and mentally prepared to live a new life temporarily. It's going to be a long 3 months. Oh boy, let's see how this is going to go. Once the afternoon comes around, an agent comes over from the moving company and we discuss what needs to be moved, left here, or discarded. He uses a tablet and checks off items in my room, though most of the electric appliances are staying, so it's mainly clothes, cutlery, and things I've acquired. I promised myself not to buy too many unnecessary things, especially since I barely have room in this one room plus kitchen apartment. I was lucky enough to already have it furnished with the necessary electric appliances, so all I had to do was buy my bed, closet, and the little drawers here and there. He tells me about all about the procedure that's going to happen tomorrow, and all I do is nod and smile because it's all under control by the company. All I'd have to do is watch and maybe direct them if questions are asked. I'm excited, but also nervous. I'm counting down the hours to when my life is going to turn 180 degrees. Me? A maid? I still can't believe it. For the rest of the day, I continue my job hunting, all the while taking one last look at this rundown apartment. It's super shabby, old and small, but I've lived here for the past 6 years. It holds sentiment. It was the best deal at that time, especially for a fresh 18-year-old that just moved to Tokyo, but I couldn't complain. And now I'm getting kicked out. But hey, I still got a roof over my head for the next 3 months. I hope her place is nice, though I shouldn't get used to living in a luxurious condo when I have to revert back to cheap old apartments after the whole shtick. I can't help but wonder though, what would it be like, living with a princess like her? I guess I'll find out tomorrow. The next morning goes by rather quickly. I wake up on time for the movers to come in and pack my stuff, and they do it professionally and timely. They neatly pack my stuff into boxes and maneuver it into the truck outside with ease. They're also super helpful, always telling me important things before they pack items. In no time, they finish moving and are already en route to Mikawa-san's condo, and all that's left for me to do is kiss this place goodbye and head over myself. Except, I don't know where she lives, because I never got her address. I hurry out the door to catch one of the movers to get the address, but the truck is already long gone. What am I gonna do? Just then, a car honk sounds behind me and I jump in shock. Behind me is a sleek-looking black car pulling up next to me slowly. The driver gets out of his seat and opens the door for me as I stand there bewildered. Is this part of the moving service too? Oh gosh, she has a butler. Tanaka-san, Mikawa Aoi has requested that I escort you to her condominium. Oh wow, I get a chauffeur to my new place? She's spoiling me. Without further ado, I step into the car and comfortably make my way to my new temporary home. Tanaka-san, we have arrived. The butler pulls up to the curb in front of the tall modern building and steps out of the car. Even as I open the car to get out, I'm too busy marveling at the building and its surroundings. This has to be one of the more luxurious areas around the city. Tall buildings and towers loom over the area, and although it seems busy, the streets are quaint and quiet. This way, Tanaka-san. As the butler beckons for me to follow him, I study the entranceway of the condo building and notice a path of blue cloth laid out that sports the moving company's logo. The movers that were previously at my house are now working hard to move my stuff into the place. We carefully evade them so we don't interrupt their workflow and buzz in through the intercom to reach Mikawa-san. After a brief conversation between the butler and Mikawa-san, we get into an unoccupied elevator up to the 20th floor. The elevator ride is mainly silent, aside from the elevator whirring, but the butler suddenly speaks up. Please treat Mikawa Aoi with care, Tanaka-san. She might not look like it, but she is quite the fragile person. She didn't seem the least bit fragile at all when I first met her, but I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. I trust the butler more than I do her, if I'm being honest. I would too, honestly. Like, can you not ever trust a butler? Like, butlers are the most trustworthy people I know. They're just there to help out and serve. That's what they do. That's their job. The elevator rings and the door opens to more blue protective guards on the walls and floors to prevent the scratching from the movers. The butler stays in the elevator and waves goodbye to me as he leaves me alone in the hallway as if sending me off into the lion's den. I mean, that's quite the description, but I head towards the open door and find Mikawa-san directing the movers, but that's not the only thing I find. Upon laying my eyes inside the door, what I expected to be a luxurious-looking home turns out to be a luxurious landfill. Don't get me wrong, everything about the apartment looks nice as hell, but the amount of garbage and clothes lying around everywhere is a sight, and not a good one at that. Bottles, both plastic and glass, are strewn about in the living room. The kitchen is a hot mess of takeout cartons and bags. The couch and dinner chairs are being used as clothes hangers, and delivery boxes are lying about everywhere. My eyes and mouth open wide, and I looked to my new employer for an explanation. You live like this? She looks away and bites her finger, clearly in shame. Don't ask. Hey, you know, she doesn't have much time. She's just trying to live her life. Don't judge her. You're here to clean anyway, so what does that matter to her? Aside from the piles of garbage, the place is actually really nice. The windows in the living room go from the floor to the ceiling, lighting up the place even more with natural sunlight, and the view is absolutely breathtaking. Through the windows are a sea of buildings and other towers that surround the area. In the distance, you can even see the Tokyo Tower. Even though the residence isn't the biggest, it's still quite spacious compared to what I assume most condos are. She probably doesn't even need a place any bigger than this if she's living by herself. I take a peek into my room where the movers are still meticulously placing things and rebuilding the bed, and thankfully it's much cleaner in there than out here. I never used that room, so now it's your bedroom. Thanks, I guess. It's one less room to clean, that's for sure. In a matter of less than an hour, everything is placed perfectly in my new spacious room, and the movers bid us goodbye. Now all that's left is me, the rich girl, and the ransacked living quarters. Here. She tosses me a key fob and a credit card, and I take it with utmost care like it's a treasure that could be broken if handled incorrectly. The credit card is only for you to buy groceries and cleaning supplies. Don't even dare thinking about buying unnecessary things. I can check what you've bought. I can totally plan to get away with this credit card, can't I? Can't I? That's probably not a good idea. Yes, Mikawa-san. Just Aoi would do. I'm not a big fan of formalities, especially if we're going to be living together for the next 3 months. I shrug at her casual outlook and I just go with it. Then Aoi, just how long have you been living here for a luxury dwelling to turn into this? I gesture my hand towards the monstrosity that is her place. Hell on earth? A week and a half. You've lived here a week and a half and it looks like this? Yeah, I'm with you, Akane. Okay, I had a housewarming party and I was too busy to clean up, that's all. You had a house party that looks like of one person, because this looks like all of your stuff. I take one last look at the work I have to get to. So let's get started. Where are your garbage bags? I don't have any. Yeah, I think you're gonna have to go buy some stuff. Okay, then do you have a vacuum, a broom, a mop? She shakes her head. I'm not only worried, I'm also highly disappointed. Take me to the nearest home appliance store now. Yeah, this is gonna be a fixer-upper. Except it's just cleaning, not even repairing anything. Do we really need all this? With all this mess, we should have bought even more. I drop the bags of cleaning supplies on a spot that's actually visible on the floor and begin taking out each cleaning instrument. She follows suit and lines up the various items on the floor next to mine. Vacuum, check. Gloves, check. Garbage bags, check. Feather duster, check. Rags, check. Everything else, check. Hey, I'm gonna go change into more comfortable clothing real quick and then we can get to work. You mean you can get to work? I have stuff to do. I'll be in my room. Call me if you need anything. I mean, to be fair, you are the maid. This is your job. It's not hers. I open my mouth to rebuke, but she has a point. I was hired to do this after all. I sigh as I watch her back face me and waltz to her room, leaving me alone with a mountain of garbage. Does your room need cleaning too? No, it's fine. Yeah, I was just about to say I think that's pretty doubtful as well. But I won't press any further because I have more than I can handle out here. Alright then, let's get this party started. Oh dang, it looks nice now. Look at that. Okay. 4 hours later? Bruh. And that's the last of it. I drop the dirty cloth into the kitchen sink and admire my work of art from afar. Every nook and cranny is now sparkling clean, and the clothes lying around now in laundry baskets waiting to be washed, and every bottle can be sorted into a respective batch. Maybe I should go professional, eh? I wipe the sweat off my forehead and pat myself on the back. To reward myself, I crack open a can of beer that was carried over from my fridge at my old place and chug it down. That hits the spot. I can't do that anime. That's such an anime sound to make that. I can't do that. I don't drink alcohol. I can't make that sound. I walk to the huge windows and take in the breathtaking view outside. The skies are clear with only a minimal amount of clouds breezing by, allowing the sun to relentlessly shine upon the city. The sunshine bounces off the tall buildings and its windows, making it brighter than it actually is with its glare. And scanning down below, the people and cars look like ants marching through the concrete jungle. Even the rooftops of the vast buildings fascinate me. I take another sip with a cold beer in my hand and look back at the spotless living room. Maybe this isn't so bad after all. Cleaning and cooking for someone that you barely see because they're so busy. Is that what being a housewife feels like? My eyes wander to her closed door and I can't help but wonder what she's up to. The time on the wall then catches my eye and I realize that half my day has already flown by. 4:55, dinner time is nearing. What does she like to eat, I wonder? From the evidence left over the heaps of trash, I'd say cup noodles. But now that I'm here, there's no need for cup noodles. I walk up to her door and knock on it for her attention. What is it? What do you want for dinner? I need to go out and get ingredients if you want something super fancy. I'm fine with whatever. Not surprising, I thought she'd be more picky. Well, I think if she's eating cup noodles, she's probably not that picky. I have a friend that's pretty much all he eats. He eats cup of noodles and, like, candy, and that's it. I have no clue how this guy lives. Like, how do you just survive off that? That's terrible. Really? You sure about that? Yeah. Maybe she's just too busy to care. But that's fine by me. I walk over to the fridge and look at what's available, since I brought over plenty of ingredients from the one I had in my old apartment. Even with my stuff, the interior of her fridge looks lacking and empty. I have ground beef, some onions. Let's make hamburg steak. Dang, I just had that like not too long ago. That's pretty good. You can't go wrong with that. Not to mention I actually have the ingredients here. Let's hope she's okay with that. Throughout the entire time of prepping and cooking, Aoi didn't come out of her room for even a second. It's as if I'm actually living alone and I'm just cooking for me and my imaginary friend. Also, I'm super glad all of my cooking pots and pans are here, or else we'd be having takeout for dinner. How does she not even have any cooking equipment whatsoever? I get that she just moved in recently and has only been eating out and stuff, but come on, she couldn't possibly have planned on never cooking, right? As the clock strikes 6 p.m., I finish garnishing the classic dish and of course taking an aesthetic picture, and I upload it to Instagram. I love when people like make made-up names for social media. It's always funny seeing what they come up with. Instagram. I'll remember that one. Alright, now to call the dragon out of her den. I walk up to her door and knock 3 times loudly. Dinner's ready, so you can. In an instant, the doors open wide and I meet her face to face, with her staring into my soul. My eyes wander behind her and I see that her room is just as messy as it was out here, with her clothes lying around with books and papers. Before I could thoroughly inspect the rest of her room, she moves past me and closes the door, aware that I'm snooping. Feeling slightly abashed for being caught looking around, I follow her to the dining table. She pauses midway and surveys the different scenery in her home. Wow. Her head then turns to me with eyes wide open, visibly impressed. You did all this? Of course. I may not be a professional cleaner, but I can do my fair share of housekeeping. I had my doubts about you, since you look like the type to care about your nails too much to clean properly, but you proved me wrong. Well, anyone would want to do their best to clean up when they owe someone 760,000 yen. She ignores me when the scent of the hamburg steak leads her to the dining table, seating herself down in front of it. And you cooked this too? No, Gordon Ramsay made it. According to her unamused face, she doesn't find my sarcasm funny. I'm not able to hide my cheeky smile though, but I follow suit and sit across from her in front of my own plate of food. I know my own cooking best, so I know what it tastes like already. I let her take the honors and eat first to gauge her reaction. This is my first time cooking for a rich person. I don't know if it's on par with what they usually eat. If this doesn't fly with her, then I really have to start sharpening my culinary skills to appease her. Though not like I mind, since I'm pretty much free most of the time now, but I don't know if I can handle the pressure. The fork in her hand slices through the glazed soft patty and brings it to her mouth. For some reason, I become nervous at the thought of her feedback, as if I'm on a cutthroat cooking show. I gulp as she swallows and I nearly stop breathing. She freezes in place, staring at the meat patty on her plate. What's wrong? Does it taste bad? Alright, I help myself to a bite, but it tastes perfectly fine. At least to me. If it tastes bad, then it's delicious. Her eyes light up like fireworks and she begins to scarf down the rest of her dinner. Whoa, wait, calm down, you're gonna choke. Seeing her enjoy the meal like a child makes me giggle a bit because of the contrast compared to her usual self. Not to mention she likes the food. It makes me feel super accomplished as somebody who likes my cooking. I've only ever cooked for myself and the validation feels very nice. Her speed slows down as she learns to savor the taste and she smiles. She can smile. Who knew she was capable of that? I think she smiled before, but it was usually at your expense, not because you did something nice for her. As I thought she looked so much softer and more approachable when she's smiling, a big contrast to what I'm used to. However, she immediately tries to hide it for some reason. Sorry for the sudden outbursts, it's just that I haven't had a home-cooked meal in a very, very long time. She continues munching away, and I take this chance to learn more about her. I'm living with her for the next 3 months, it's only natural, right? But don't your butlers and maids cook you good food? Under the light of the dining table, I can see a hint of sadness in her eyes. It's not the same. There's a brief moment of solemn silence, but she easily brings the mood back up. But you're not going to unlock my sad backstory just yet. I know, we gotta go through some more of the dialogue, you know, it's the game, and then we'll unlock the sad backstory. It just sounds so meta when she says it like that. So you're saying I have the possibility of unlocking it down the road? A smirk forms on her face as she scoffs and looks away in amusement before landing her deep blue eyes on me again. Actually, don't even think about it. Ha, alright then, mysterious-san. The room goes back to being silent apart from the clinking of the silverware against plates from the both of us. Usually I try to get rid of any awkward silences, but I'm too hungry and tired to even try right now. Aoi finishes her dinner faster than I and proceeds to leave me alone again, but I stop her midway. Wait, before you go, give me your number or Rhine. Oh, sorry, I don't give out my Rhine on the first date. My eyes roll at her attempted sarcasm. Come on, you know that's not what I meant. Besides, you're not my type. I give her a smug smile as I shoot back at her with my own banter. Good, I don't date my maids. Oof. Well, that might change, who knows? We'll find out. She holds out her hand as I give her my phone for her to input her number. And also, I need to know your daily and weekly schedule, your allergies if you have any foods you won't eat, and your workplace. Her eyes look up from my phone and raises an eyebrow in a questioning manner. It's so when I know when to wake up to make you breakfast, what to pack for your lunch, and when you'll be back for dinner. The questioning face still remains unchanged, staring at me like I'm bizarre. If I'm gonna be a maid, I might as well be a good one. Now out with it. She returns my phone to me and crosses her arm, now looking like a serious businesswoman once again, especially in that suit of hers. I work at the White Lilies Corporation from Monday to Friday, Monday to Wednesday at the company building, while Thursday and Friday at home, though there are times when I might go to work on the weekends. I wake up at 7 a.m. every morning and leave by 8. I get home at around 5:30 p.m. or later, depending on the day. I'll let you know if I'm coming home late. I eat practically everything and anything, and I'm not a picky eater, no allergies whatsoever. Do you need anything else, Mom? I scramble to type out all the information on my phone, praying I didn't miss any details. No, daughter, that's all for now. Thank you. Okay. Good, I'll be in my room then if you need me. Do you always hole yourself in your room? She answers without even looking back to me. Only when I feel like it. And with that, she's gone. I saw him bring the plates to the sink and start cleaning. After having a somewhat normal conversation with Aoi, I noticed something. Is that she reminds me of a cat, coming and going as she pleases and being a sneaky brat sometimes. Oh, snarky brat, excuse me. Except cats are cuter than she'll ever be. Well, I think you're gonna change your tone by the end of the game. That's usually how this goes. But I better get used to this. 3 months. What specifically did she say again? 95 days? 95 days with this bratty cat? I knew I was always more of a dog person. Wow, okay. Day 5 out of 95. Okay, we're doing a time skip. I was like, how long is this novel gonna be? Because if it gets too long, I'm gonna split it up into 2 parts. Because it's really late at night right now, and I'm trying to finish it. But, you know, I want to take my time. I don't want to have to rush through it, you know? I'm bored. It's only been 5 days and I've already become bored of this lifestyle. Being situated in Oyama, one of the wealthiest neighborhoods around, means that it's filled with high-end fashion boutiques and restaurants. But I don't even have the money to buy anything worthy. The only thing I can do is look. I love window shopping, but anyone else would get bored of doing that every day. I thought having this much free time would be a blast, but I've already explored the local area and have seen as much as I could. There's the option of job and house hunting all day, but that's tiring. Isn't there something else other than scrounging the internet, cooking, or cleaning that I could do? Now, I kind of regret this decision and would rather have a part-time job. At least I would have been actually earning money to spend. If I were to spend now, I'd have to use that money in my savings since our credit card is off limits to big personal purchases. That means the money in my savings can only be used when I find something really cute. But everything looks cute when you don't have money to spend. My body sprawls out on the leather couch with my head hanging on the armrests and defeat. All of my friends are busy on the weekends too, spending time with their boyfriends or whatever and leaving the single me to my lonesome. Must be nice having a boyfriend to buy you things and go on cute dates with. Maybe I can drag her out one day and somehow get her to buy me something. Even though my vision is upside down, Aoi's closed door sparks an idea in my head, shooting me right up from the couch. Today's her day off, isn't it? Surely I can drag her out and get her to take me somewhere. It'll be in the guise of her needing fresh air. My hands rub together malevolently, like a fly on the wall, and I quickly get to putting my plan into action. I walk up to her room and put my ears to the door, trying to eavesdrop on what she's doing. However, nothing can be heard, not even the sound of typing or paper flipping. Is she sleeping? I look at the time on my phone, 1:24 p.m. Did she get a food coma from lunch or something? I did make more than I was supposed to because the recipe yielded more servings than I anticipated. Doesn't she know that it's not a good idea to sleep on a full stomach? I do that all the time though. It's terrible, and I probably gained weight because of it, but it's so nice to take a nap after you're like super stuffed. Though it is her day off after all, she probably tries to catch up on sleep whenever she can. I don't know why, but I have the urge to just barge in and wake her up like a toddler just so I can get her to take me out of this prison, even if temporarily. But then again, the door suddenly swings open mid-thought without warning, scaring me and in turn scaring her. Ah! They're both just yelling. What are you doing in front of my door like that? I was just passing by and noticed the great quality of this dark wooden door. Yes, wow, as expected of an expensive condo. She gives me a judging look and passes by me. You're weird. Well, yeah, if you said it like that, that is kind of weird. My smile's probably crooked and stiff, but she took the lie. Says the one always confined to her room. Aoi heads to the kitchen and grabs a glass of water, making me wonder if I should bring up the topic of going out or not. The hesitancy stems from her cold and icy atmosphere, and I know she's just going to refuse to offer. She quickly heads back to her room, and right before the door closes, I bring up the courage to ask her, "Hey, want to go out somewhere?" Aoi looks at me with a quizzical face, like I just asked the dumbest question on earth. No. Just no. And just like that, the door slams in my face without even giving me a chance to appeal to her verdict. Wait! I pound on her door desperate for some company on this boring day. We'll go somewhere interesting, I promise. I know all the good spots. I can show you the world. No. You need the fresh air anyways. You're always stuck in your room. This time, not a word is said and I get left on red in real life. I sigh in defeat and curse at myself. Why did I even bother trying? I already knew this would be the outcome. Fine, I'll just go by myself and have fun. By myself. Speak as loudly as I head to my own room to get ready, making sure she hears me as I spite her. After changing, I pass by her room again to give her one more chance before I leave. I'm leaving. Last warning. If you want to come with me, you better get your butt out here now. No response. Whatever. Who cares about her? Dang, that's a big time skip. So we're now on day 18 of 95. 2.5 weeks have passed, and by now I've grown accustomed to this maid life, or rather, housewife life. All I do is cook lately anyways, it's not like I need to clean every day. Once breakfast and her bento is made and Aoi's off to work, I just sit at home with all the time in the world until dinner time. But to be honest, Aoi is still shelled up, and the only thing I know about her is her netfilm password. So we got Instagraph and netfilm now. Okay, I've never heard those before. In which I've learned to take advantage of to kill time with, along with the free gym downstairs. Life here is still just as boring, but I've learned not to mind it as much anymore. One thing still irks me though, and that's me still not having permission to clean a room yet, which makes it seem like there's some big secret in there that I can't know about. At first I didn't care about not cleaning a room, but now that I've become obsessed with keeping the place clean, I'm itching to have every room clean. Including hers. I need a new hobby. Hey, can you pass me the popcorn? The TV flashes the two people awkwardly trying to talk about what their relationship is going towards. I feel like this is hinting at something here. The lack of music in this reality TV show is slowly lulling me to sleep despite the advancing drama between the stars. I pass the now almost empty bowl of popcorn across the couch and stifle a huge yawn. You don't have to watch with me, you know? It's not like I have anything else to do. Actually, you don't seem the type to watch shows like these. Me neither, but I overheard some of my coworkers talking about it and decided to give it a try, and now I'm hooked. The show's a bit old now, but I've heard it had some huge controversy in the newest season, but I guess it doesn't stop people from watching it. I steal a glance at Aoi, and despite her sitting on the opposite end of the couch, it's easy to see that she's completely absorbed in the world of this reality TV show. Her eyes are glued to the screen, and her entire body sits upright as if whatever's going on in the show is super interesting. I disagree, but seeing how much she likes the show, I won't rain on her parade. When she's in her pajamas, she's like any other normal, ordinary girl. An ordinary girl just binging on her favorite show at night. A cute ordinary girl. In these past few weeks, I'm beginning to see her more and more like a roommate than an employer. She's not as bad as I thought after all. You can stop staring at me now. My eyes nonchalantly move back to the TV, not embarrassed at all at being caught staring. How can I not stare at such a beautiful girl next to me? Say pretty lady, how about leaving this club and going home with me, A piece of popcorn hits my arm and I laugh out loud at the success of annoying her. Is that how you pick up at people in the club? Oh, don't get it wrong, I don't pick people up, people pick me up. Oh, is that so? I'll have you know I get plenty of free drinks thanks to that. Then you should take me to the club next time, I wouldn't mind some free drinks. I perk up and get excited at the idea of bringing this workaholic to the club. For real? Hey, if you're serious, I'm down to go when you're free, I know all the best spots. Aoi shuts the TV off and gets up to her room while chuckling coldly at me. I wasn't serious. I follow her footsteps and try to convince her to have some fun. It'll give me an excuse to go party again. Come on, have you ever been? It's fun, trust me. She opens her door and leans against the doorway, stopping me in my tracks. Alright, you party animal. We can talk about going to the club another time. I'm more interested in getting some sleep than partying. Lame. She got me excited for no reason. As I'm about to turn around and retreat back to my own room, the mess in her room catches my mind and I tiptoe to get a better look. Your room is still a mess. Can I please clean it for you? No. She really likes to just say no to things. I guess that's a good trait to be able to just say no sometimes. She hurriedly tries to shut the door, but I prevent it with the weight of my body against it. Why not? No. Just let me in. When I push the door wide enough, I force my body through the gap and enter her dismay. She fumbles to hide the sight with her body, but it's already too late. Dang, this is a nice room, okay. Her room was in full view now, and I didn't think it'd get any worse than the first time I saw it. Mountains of paper and books plague her desk, and hordes of clothes lie on the floor. A bunch of other accessories and random objects also occupy the floor, creating Lego-like landmines for anyone's foot. There are also a ton of boxes situated around too, probably from when she first moved in. How does she even sleep at night like this? There's no putting it off anymore. You need to sort this mess. But, no buts, what are you, a 5-year-old? I storm into her room and start picking up her clothes, all the while avoiding stepping on the various items tossed on the floor. Why don't you want me to clean your room anyways? You hiding something? No. Then let me clean it. I just don't like it when people enter my room. And besides, I know where everything is, so just leave me alone. As your maid, I simply can't. This was just washed. I recognize it. Why didn't you hang this up? My goodness. I look to her for an answer, but all she does is sit in her office chair and sulk with her arms and legs crossed. My head shakes in disappointment and I roll my eyes at her. Is it because she was spoiled her entire life? I open her closet and it's somehow cleaner than the rest of the room. I sigh and face her, thinking of a reason to entice her to clean. How about this? I clean right now while you're here, so you know where every single thing will be, even after it's cleaned up and put away. A daughter of a rich CEO that's going to take her father's place one day should not be living like this. Who's to say they can't? Well, okay, fine. I'm not one to judge, but since I'm already here, I might as well do my job. Overtime isn't included in your debt repayment. But she has a point. It's already 11 p.m., so I'm technically off the clock. Though I look around the room, I absolutely can't stand it anymore. I continue picking up the plethora of clothes and start my overtime. I don't care. I just feel bad for you. You can't possibly work well in such an environment. How do you get things done when you're working from home? I just do. Okay, Superwoman. I begin sorting the clothes and start folding them or hanging them. I keep whichever ones that need to be laundered in a neat pile on the floor. While I work on your clothes, you can start sorting out the things you need and don't need on your desk. I'll help you make it look neater once I'm done with everything else on your floor. You're oddly doing much more than what you're meant to do. Usually people would just do the bare minimum. I didn't even ask you to clean my room, yet you're willingly offering to clean it. Work smarter, not harder. Even I don't know why. Maybe because your room feels like a dark cloud over the rest of the sparkling bright abode. It was irking me. She sorts through the papers on her table slowly as she replies. Don't forget, this is my place. Don't grow too attached to it now. I know. After dealing with her ridiculous sea of clothes, I move on to the various objects on the floor. There were even singular earrings scattered on the floor. So that's where it was. I was looking for it. Maybe you should take this as motivation for keeping your room clean. She returns the missing earring into her box of jewelry on her vanity. I'm usually not this messy. Moving in just made it messy. All I managed to do was get everything out of the boxes. You sure love making excuses. She tosses a crumpled piece of paper at me, landing it square on my forehead. Ow, watch it, my face is my moneymaker. Calm down, it's just paper. Paper cuts exist, hello? Her eyes roll at me as she starts getting back to her task. There are so many boxes in here. Did you not hire a moving company to help you pack and unpack your things neatly? Basically, my cousin convinced me to move everything for myself for the experience, but I should have spent the money instead of listening to her, and I freaking regret it. Your cousin's got a point. A small golden picture frame on the floor catches my eye and I pick it up for examination. The frame is decorative and expensive looking, though it seems rather old and scratched. I flip it over and see a small girl smiling widely with missing teeth standing between what might be her parents. The family photo looks so normal, yet so out of place in the princess's living quarters. Wow, is this you? You look so different. What happened to you? Sheesh. Before I can examine any longer, footsteps slump towards me and Aoi swipes the picture out of my hands. The picture gets buried in her chest, guarded by her arms along with her vicious glare. Don't touch that. Excuse me. I shrink away, knowing that I probably looked at something sensitive. Whoa, sorry. She can't blame me though, I was just lying there. Even now, she's super secretive about her family and past for some reason. I go back to picking up stuff from her floor and am more mindful about what I look at. The silence between us makes the awkwardness worse, but thanks to it, my pace picks up so I can leave the situation faster. Only words such as, where does this go? Over there? Here? Yeah? Are exchanged, but it's those one-word answers that make the awkwardness even worse. As the floor begins to look more like a floor, she continues sulking at her desk. She hasn't stopped since the whole picture ordeal. Look over my shoulder to her, still mindlessly flipping through her documents. The progress on her desk is slowly advancing, but still nowhere compared to the progress I made with the rest of the room. Only her open cardboard boxes that lay scattered and stacked are left to deal with. With this weird air between us, I decide it's best to flatten them outside and leave her to her own devices. Now to ask her if she wants them or not. I don't really want to approach her, though. I grab the nearest box and start to ask, but she speaks first. Sorry. Her sudden apology surprises me, and for a second, I forget why she's apologizing. I didn't mean to blow up like that earlier. Was she mulling over that the entire time? How cute. Things like these make me think she's actually not a bad person, just misunderstood, and bad at communicating. As to not make it that serious, because I really wasn't offended anyway, I chuckle and brush it off. Don't worry about it. But, say, do you want to keep these boxes? I'll flatten them and toss them. Oh, I don't need them. Alrighty. With my arms and hands full of cardboard boxes, I make my way out the door, seeing that my mission is complete. Her room is as clean as it can be, except for some sweeping to do, but that can wait for another day. I think that's enough for tonight since it's already so late. Wait, what about my desk? She raises her voice and stops me from leaving, but it doesn't have that crass tone that she usually uses. Instead, it harbors more of a lonely feeling. It makes me feel like I'm abandoning a puppy. I glance at her worried face and then her desk. It's getting pretty late and both of us have to get up early. Not to mention I'm tired as hell, especially after that big cleanup. The mess on her desk isn't too bad looking, but since she's been picking at it and organizing it for the past hour or so, I'm not gonna lie, it's still an eyesore. Oh, it can be your homework. Homework? I flash a big toothy smile at her. I'm leaving your desk, cleaning your desk to you. Wait, what? It's settled then. I'm a genius. Just do your best to make it and keep it clean, and I'll evaluate you maybe. For whenever the next time I step into your room, if you ever even let that happen. Yeah, she kind of forced herself in the first time. I don't know if she'll get in again. Are you serious? You gotta start learning how to clean. I'm not gonna be living here forever. I laugh as I exit her room and close it to prevent her from protesting. Somehow I can already imagine her looking pissed as heck in her room in there right now, despite looking like a sad puppy just a few minutes ago. I place the boxes in the living room with plans to flatten them out tomorrow. It's already 1:30 a.m. and I'm beat. My feet carry to my room and my body naturally flumps onto the bed. I think back to the task I assigned Aoi earlier. Was that asking too much of her? No way. She's a grown woman. She may be busy, but she still has to take responsibility for the messes she makes. It'll be a good change for her. Though I guess I can step in if she really needs to. If I really need to. No. I have to have faith in her. Though leaving her with such a simple task makes me laugh. I sometimes feel like I'm incredibly underestimating her. She's the daughter of a CEO of a big company, and on her way to becoming a CEO in the near future. Yet she still can't keep up. She still can't keep her own house clean. What is she gonna do without me? What am I thinking? She can just hire an actual maid. My heavy eyelids soon close, slowly ridding my brain of any maid duties. I'm gonna have another time skip here. So we're on day 37 of 95. Roughly a month has passed by now, meaning we're 1/3 or so through this charade. I'm surprised she hasn't realized that I'm practically freeloading. I'll gladly cook and clean just to continue having a roof over my head and food on the table. If she's content, I'm not complaining, even if she can get a little difficult at times. I think she's warming up to me, though, slowly. My eyes opened to the blinding sun shining through the big windows that scorched the living room as I was napping. The TV is still on, featuring some sort of comedy program with a timestamp on the corner reading 9:38 a.m. I rub the sleep from my eyes and get up to turn on the air conditioner before I burn alive. As I search for the air conditioner remote, I noticed her lunch bag settled on the kitchen island. She forgot her lunch? I practically run towards the abandoned bento and slump in disbelief. All that hard work only to be left uneaten. I bring it over to the fridge, and as I open the fridge door, a eureka moment strikes me. If she did bring her lunch with her, then I can just bring it to her, can't I? Perfect, that way I can snoop around and see what she's like at work. I laugh to myself at my well thought out plan, get changed, and get quickly to delivering Aoi her lunch. Going to her work. Gosh, this looks like New York. According to Google Maps. Oh gosh, now we got Google Maps. We got Netfilm, Instagraph, and Google Maps. This should be the place. The tall glass building looks stunning, but I missed all the other towers around it. It looks all the same. A big logo, presumably of that company, sits on the top of the entrance doors to distinguish it from the rest of the other corporate buildings. The entire area is filled with people in business suits going in and out, and I kind of wish I had dressed a bit more classy. Oh, my cat joined me. But as much as I love you, I'm gonna have to put her down because she's kind of on my keyboard, and you know, kind of hard to play a game when you have a cat on your keyboard. The entire area is filled with people in business suits going in and out, and I kind of wish I had dressed a tiny bit more classy. I'm sticking out like a sore thumb. Despite people giving me weird looks, I proceed through the big doors and go to the front desk to ask for Aoi. The receptionist looks at me with an unassuming look, even though I look out of place. She's probably seen worse. Excuse me, I'm looking for Miss Mikawa Aoi-san. May I ask for the reason? May I ask for the reason you're asking for her? Do you have an appointment scheduled? I'm her maid. She forgot something very important documents, and she told me to hand deliver it to her personally. Unfortunately, I didn't schedule an appointment. Her skeptical eyes look at me up and down, and I can tell she's about to tell me to leave, but I interrupt her train of thought. Just tell her that Tanaka Akane is here for her, please. The receptionist sighs and gives in to my request, reluctantly dialing for Aoi on the phone. Mikawa-san, you have a guest here looking for you, called Tanaka Akane. She says she has some very important... Yes, ma'am, she'll be up in a moment. The woman puts the phone down and tells me to wait for an escort to bring me up. I give her a warm smile and thank her for her generously complying with me. Dang, she has to have someone escort her? This is fancy. Are you Tanaka Akane-san? Yes, that's me. If you will follow me, I'll be bringing you to Mikawa-san's office. The man in the dark gray suit escorts me to the elevator and tries to make small talk in which I don't really have an interest in partaking. Mikawa-san doesn't usually have visitors aside from probably corporate partner meetings and whatnot, so it's surprising to see someone different come to visit her. Oh, haha, is that so? Even though I didn't think she'd be inviting a friend over to her workplace. Well, I can't help but let out a nervous laugh due to the fact that she absolutely did not invite me. There's a first for everything. Don't tell her I said this, but it makes her seem like an actual human rather than a robot. That's so. She probably doesn't show her more expressive side at work as much as she does at home. I'm sure she has a life outside of work, but she can be quite scary sometimes during meetings and such. I think his speculation about her not having a life outside of work is true, seeing that she's always cooped up in her room doing God knows what. All I do is laugh along at the lighthearted observations about Aoi because I don't want to tarnish her image more than she already has by being a scary higher-up. Say, are you going to come around more often? It's refreshing to see someone like you in this monotonous place. Well, if you ever need someone to show you around here, I'm your guy. Oh yeah? I don't think I'll be around after today. I'm really just here to drop off some The elevator dings and the doors open to an infuriated Aoi personally awaiting for us. Without even allowing me to say a thank you to the man, Aoi grabs my hand and pulls me towards her office while everyone else stares at the commotion. I get dragged through these huge doors, clearly signifying it's an important room for an important person. The door slams shut and she looks at me with eyes I'm all too familiar with. It feels like deja vu. Why are you here? I don't even dare look at the fierce woman in front of me, afraid that she's going to drill her anger through me with just her eyes. My hands fiddle idly with the handles of the bag, knowing I probably stepped over a line that I shouldn't have. It's been a while since I've seen her this mad, and the last time being when I first met her. You forgot your lunch, so I came to deliver it to you. She looks down at my hands holding the lunch bag and her anger subdues a bit. Her body becomes less stiff and relaxes a bit, though she face palms and shakes her head. You could have just left it at home. I would have bought something for lunch instead. As your maid, it is my duty to see that you are eating healthy. I like how she says that so matter of fact. Aoi face palms again, this time harder, and walks around her desk to slump in her chair. Okay then, just leave it here and get home. I do as she says and place the lunch bag on her desk, but it doesn't hurt to stay for longer, right? The room's decoration catches my attention. I start parading around the multitude of books lined up on the shelves. Oh, don't be like that. How about you give me a little building tour? Her eyes squint, physically asking if I'm for real. Does it look like I have time? You can make time. Quit playing around, Akane. Just go home. In utmost desperation, I go up to her and pull my best puppy eyes, aiming to win her heart for the tour. I even push my breasts up with my arms, so I don't know how much an effect it will have on a woman. But Aoi, pretty please? I can see her eyes travel down to my round ass sessions. She starts to blush like mad. Teehee, so it does have a little bit of an effect on her. Despite my alluring features, she grabs my shoulder and gently pushes me an arm's length away before she looks away, flustered. Just go home. I'm not giving up just yet. My hands snake up hers, and I pull myself even closer, leaving no space between us. But Aoi, I know nothing about you so far. I would love to get to know you and your company up close and personal, since I'm here already. It's hard to hold in my laughter when she looks like she's almost about to combust. Her blue eyes unwavering, unsure of where to look at, clearly trying to avoid my chest and lips. I can tell she's this close to giving into my request, but some knocks suddenly sound at the door, causing her to jerk in shock and wake up from her trance. Aoi pushes me away again and stands up, straightening her suit. Yes, come in. The man earlier from the elevator comes in and asks Aoi to check something over. The CEO's daughter is still visibly flushed despite her attempted straight face. Akane, you can leave now, please. Seeing all of her all embarrassed gets a giggle out of me, and I think that's enough out of her today, so I take my win and back off. As per her request, I leave the premises and make my way home in the summer heat. I don't understand how everyone around is surviving those business suits. Right as I take some steps through the door, my phone rings and a name I haven't seen in quite a while appears on the screen. Hey, long time no see. You have to come meet up at the usual spot to catch up. A bunch of us are going shopping and then some coffee today. Right now? I hold my phone away from my ear to see the time. 12:10. I got loads of time to kill. Why not? I'll be there in a bit. Don't start the party without me. It's not like I'd be doing anything better at home. Time to hear some tea. And so I broke up with him because he was a lying and cheating. I don't even know what I saw in him, and here I was wanting to get married to him. I told you he was trash in the beginning, and now you pay the price. Whatever, I'm over it. At least I can meet new people now and play around, haha. The single life is the best life, I'm telling you. What about you, Akane? Have you found anyone yet? No, I'm too busy right now anyways. What are you up to now, anyways? You're rarely updating on Instagram lately. All I see is food. Don't forget the nice view she posted a while ago. Just who are you living with to have such a crazy view of Tokyo? Yeah, you're totally dating some hotshot. I nervously laugh and try my best to answer without giving out my entire life situation. It feels a little embarrassing to be admitting that I have to be someone's makeshift maid to pay off damages. Oh, I'm just helping a friend, being there for a friend. Yeah, she's going through some tough stuff right now, so I'm just helping her to get back on her feet. I'm just making sure she eats properly and helping out with house chores and stuff. I'm technically not lying about that. Oh yikes, hope she feels better soon. At least you're living in a bougie house right now. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Anyways, did you hear about... As the conversations of random topics continues onto the late afternoon, my phone screen flashes with a message notification on Ryan. I almost do a spit take when I see Aoi's name along with the time. Without even knowing, it's already 6:12 p.m. Where did the time go? Oh dear lord. Guys, I gotta head out, sorry. Yeah, but we have so much more tea to spill. Sorry, I'll probably be free to stay longer next time. Save the tea for them. I slap a 2,000 yen bill on the table and rush out there, knowing I'm going to get a beating once I get home. Instead of taking the usual transit method of the train, I decided it'll be faster if I hail a cab down. However, that ends up being a bad choice. 5 minutes after the cab starts driving, the traffic starts picking up and I'm stuck in a traffic jam. To make things worse, my phone dies before I can even hit the send button to notify Aoi that I'll be late due to a traffic jam. What luck! I lean against the window of the cab and mentally prepare myself for whatever's going to come once I reach home. I now thank the car ride for being so long so I can delay the consequences of me staying out too late and forgetting dinner. Oh god, I don't even have any food for her. I guess I'll have to whip up a quick meal right as I step in the doorway. That is, if she's willing to eat. I haven't made a blunder in so long though, surely she'll forgive me? I sigh, and giving up on making excuses, I'll just take whatever she throws at me. And you'll be fine. The door opens with a beep, and I swiftly lock it up while taking my shoes off. I then hurry to put away my shopping bags, but to my surprise, I see Aoi at the dining table with cup noodles. You're home early. I got hungry, so I made dinner without you. I stop in place and lock eyes with her reluctantly. Despite her words dripping with sarcasm, I don't sense any hostility. In fact, I don't feel anything at all. Just a blank stare that soon drops back down to her cup of noodles. I take this opportunity to put my stuff away and join her again at the dinner table with her own cup noodles. It looks like I came home at the right time. The electric boiler shows that the water is still freshly boiled. After I rehydrate my noodles and pour in the seasoning packet, I join Aoi at the table. What happened to making sure I eat properly? Well, cup noodles once in a while doesn't hurt. I'm sorry about being late. Some friends invited me out for lunch and shopping, and then when you called, I tried to get home as fast as possible, so I took a taxi. But there was a huge traffic jam, and then my phone died, so I couldn't let you know. My explanation went into one ear and out the other, didn't it? I thought she was just uninterested, but as soon as I studied her demeanor, I noticed her looking more tired than usual. Is that why she didn't blow up at me for being late? The stillness in the air continues to linger, but my nosiness gets the better of me and I try to start a conversation. Did something happen at work today? Aoi heavily sighs and keeps her eyes down. Don't remind me. She puts her chopsticks down and crosses her arms. We lost a big business partner because of the dumbest reason ever. Now we have to find another supplier, and we have to find an adequate one fast. You should have given me that building tour. I could have been your lucky star, but no, you just had to kick me out. Haha, so funny. You most likely did not have anything to do with the outcome. Anyways, just thinking about it gives me a headache. Yeah, I can see you with all the white hair you're growing. I don't have white hair, do I? She pulls up her phone camera app as a makeshift mirror and tries to check for any... No, but I can sense it growing sooner or later. My reassurance calms her and she puts her phone down with another heavy sigh. Her hands go back to her chopsticks and she starts munching away again. Speaking of white hair though, how old are you anyways? I don't think I've ever asked. Me? She takes a bite and mumbles her answer like a child. 24. Hey, my same age. Cool. I almost choked from her answer. 24? Yeah, what's wrong? I thought you were older than that, with what, your soon-to-be CEO status. Yeah, I'm here to the CEO position, but not anytime too soon. At least I hope not anytime soon. But what? You thought I was older? What, now I'm supposed to look as young as possible? What do you mean? You thought I was older? I might not be young, but 24 ain't old either. Gosh, I certainly feel old sometimes. Both of our faces have O-shaped mouths staring at each other with bug eyes, but we soon erupt into a fit of laughter over our silly misconception. Wow, you're my age, huh? It's so weird to play a visual novel where the characters aren't like 18 or younger, and they're still in high school. It's weird to hear that they're my age. It's kind of surreal. You sure got a lot on your hands right now for a 24-year-old. All you gotta do is work, and you don't even have time to go out and have fun and relax. Your 20s are your youth, and here you are slaving away as a corporate slave. Yeah, welcome to being an adult. Don't you have something else you want to do? Like a passionate hobby or something? A dream to pursue? Something that isn't the CEO of your dad's company? I don't know. I never had anything I was interested in, and since the opportunity was there to take over the company, I just took it and made it a dream. Perhaps goal is a more fitting word. Poor thing, using up her precious time on her work life, and she doesn't even know if she truly wants to. You really can't judge a book by its cover, eh? Her eyes turn soft and cast downwards, showing a more tender side. If there's one thing I envy about you, is to resolve to chase your dream. Just that? Huh? What about my body and my face? I'm pretty desirable if I do say so myself. I instinctively flip my hair and pose confidently and jest, but to be fair, you have to give some credit to yourself too. Even though you're just working for your dad and getting ready to take over his position, you're still working really hard at it, aren't you? We're the same age, yet you're leagues ahead of me. Like I said, you do nothing but work. That just proves how hard you're working towards your goal, no? Her eyes open wide a bit and she chuckles lightly, most likely seeing her efforts in a new light. I'm astounded at how smart you sounded just now. Even at times like this, she can be snarky as hell. Yeah, I'll take that as a compliment. Grass is greener on the other side, I suppose. Aoi slowly picks at the empty cup of noodles in front of her with chopsticks. I'm surprised that she hasn't gotten up and left yet, but I'm not going to complain. It's rather nice talking to her like this. Say, with so much going on, how do you even relax? I don't. Don't you have friends to hang out with for something from time to time? I used to, until I became incredibly busy with the company. I slowly drift away from all of them. I have things to do and worry about. So what you're saying is, you don't have any friends. I don't. At this point, I can feel my noodles getting cold, but it doesn't matter if I can be a step closer to making Aoi open up. I don't know why I want to, since we'll be nothing but strangers after 2 months. Is it because I'm finally unraveling her mysterious, unknown backstory? I don't know, but she's growing on me, somehow. Then I'll be your friend. Her reaction isn't what I anticipated as she laughs out loud. Please don't pity me. I'm not. I'm being genuine. She stares at me for a moment to see if I'm actually serious or not. A bitter smile appears on her face and she stares at her empty cup again. Why would you want to be friends with me? All I do is scream at you and make you play housemaid for me because I can't cook and do my own cleaning. Well, you haven't been screaming at me much for the past few weeks. Even today, when I was surprised you at your office, you didn't. Okay, you seemed kind of mad, but nowhere near the same level of anger you had when I first met you. You also didn't yell at me when I got home just now, though maybe it's because you have more important matters on your hand. That's besides the point. I think you're improving. She stares at me again with questioning eyes, but it seems to come off convincing enough for her to process the thoughts and accept the fact that that I don't mind being friends with her. Or if being friends is too much to handle, then I can be someone you can confide in. How about that? A tinge of pink colors her face and she looks away bashfully, but she replies in a barely audible mumble. Thanks. What a tsundere. Oh my gosh, they're actually using that. Just let me know when you're free, because I'm your girl to spice things up. Coffee, shopping, driving, drinking? I'm down for anything, just say the word. You know, as long as you're paying, because I don't even have an income. Sure. Yeah, that's a good point. I was like, she better have a good savings built up. Aoi then gets up with her garbage and throws it away properly, earning a shocked face from me. Usually she just leaves her finished dishes at the table. What's gotten into her? Is she finally learning? Oh my god, it's like watching my child grow up. After leaving her pair of chopsticks in the sink, she makes her way to her room, but she pauses before heading in. Do you still want to watch some Patio House later tonight? I was never interested in the show, but the more I watch it, the more I've come to like it. And I feel like Patio House is the only time she ever gets to not think about work. So why wouldn't I be down? Always. And with that, she disappears into her room and I finish my cold noodles. Wonder what day it's going to be now. Oh, okay, so just later that night. Cool. They're going to start watching their show. The dark and starry night skies stand out in the brightly lit living room. We sit in our usual spots on the sofa with our eyes stuck to the screen, playing the episode we last left off from Patio House. It's been a weekly thing now, watching Patio House together, or at least whenever Aoi has time at night, usually on weekends. The show is beginning to get interesting as I become attached to the multiple characters living in the house together. Kind of reminds me of Aoi and I. The mellow mood of the show used to bore me, but it's become somewhat relaxing and I've come to appreciate the pace of the show, as well as the panel and their commentary. The scene cuts to said panel and they begin to their usual comments about the people in question. Just then, Aoi says something, but my attention was more on the panelists instead. Did you really mean it? Did you mean what you said earlier about during dinner about being my friend? Now that catches my attention. You're still cynical about that? Why would I lie to you? I don't know. Yes, of course I meant it. But you know, we can go back to being strictly an employer and maid relationship if you still feel uneasy about it. That's not it. Aoi looks at me with a face that screams excuse me. That screams she's still unsure. Should I give you a kiss of friendship to show how serious I am? Come here. Oh, so they're doing that, huh? With the help of the small space between us, I lunge at her nearby defenseless self with an exaggerated kissy face. She lightly screams after being caught off guard and tries her best to back up from me. Wait, no, okay, I get it. You're serious. Now stay away. I keep moving towards her with a straight face, like I'm about to burst out of laughter any second now. Oh, come on. We have to solidify our friendship with a rite of passage. I continue my prank and keep cornering her, but suddenly she comes to a stop thanks to the couch's armrest and neither of us paid attention to it in a flash. Whoa, you guys. Getting a little close there, huh? Little close, huh? The distance between us closes as our lips abruptly meet each other. Her wide eyes and frozen body mirror my own, both of us not knowing what just happened. I can tell you what just happened. The TV gets drowned out as my mind is trying to process the sudden turn of events. After what seems like centuries, I hastily back up and both of us cover our mouths, shocked from the accidental kiss. Aoi's face is as red as a traffic light, even when her hand is covering half of it, and her brows are as furrowed with confusion. The voices from the TV are starting to tune in again, snapping me back into reality. We somehow accidentally kissed? To air out the awkward air, I play it off as a joke, which it initially was. Yeah, I'm sure it was. Ahaha, wow, I guess our friendship pact is officially formed. Hope it wasn't your first kiss. I nervously look away because, let's be real, who could make eye contact with someone they never intended to kiss in the first place? I don't think you intended to kiss her there, but you definitely intended to at some point in the future. Her lack of response forces me to look at her though, but her eyes immediately avert over to the side. Don't tell me that was your... Her brows furrow even more, giving me my answer. You idiot. Oh my god, I'm sorry, I really didn't mean to take your first kiss. In haste, she slinks away and claims she's going to bed, still covering her beet red face. Once she's gone, I slump down on the couch and stare blankly at the TV. The episode is still in the middle of playing, showing the two celebrities coincidentally sharing a kiss, much just like the one that happened earlier. Except theirs was no accident. I quickly turn off the TV out of embarrassment as I recall kissing Aoi earlier. The temperature rises in my face. I shake my head to try to get it to subside, but it doesn't work. It was just an accident, a mishap. So why am I getting embarrassed all of a sudden? I don't know, you tell me. What's going on? Seems like somebody has a little bit more feelings than they're letting on. Day 65 out of 95. We got 30 days left. I stifle a big yawn and put my laptop on the coffee table. It's only 3 p.m. right now. Why does it feel like it's been 3 p.m. for the longest time? My eyes are getting dry and it feels like the air conditioner isn't working as well as it's supposed to. It's feeling kind of warm, but also cold at the same time. Weird. Yeah, it's funny how that works. After hours of staring at the laptop screen, I'm getting a little lightheaded. I get up to pour myself a glass of water, but getting up makes me feel woozy, and my heavy body ends up back on the couch again. Oh, I think you're getting sick. It won't hurt to lie down a bit, right? There's still some time left before I have to make dinner. Oh, but I have to go grocery shopping. Maybe I can do that tomorrow instead. I'm feeling super tired. I think all I need is a little nap. I'll be sure to wake up on time to make a quick dinner. My heavy eyelids can barely stay open and I fall prey to slumber in a matter of seconds. When I finally awake, the bright lights in the room cause my migraine to worsen even more. The pounding in my head is all I can focus on and my brain shrivels with every beat. However, a burning smell immediately thrusts me back into motion. Did I leave the stove on earlier? Is the place engulfed in flames? I sit up in a panic to check my surroundings, but instead of seeing a fire, I see a small wet towel fall over my head and a figure in the kitchen. My heavy breathing calms down after identifying Aoi in the kitchen, but the panic arises again when I realize she's in the kitchen, doing kitchen things, when she never does kitchen things. Ow! At the speed of light, I practically leap from the couch and check if she hurt herself. Aoi! Fortunately, there's no blood gushing from anywhere, and she's holding her finger in her mouth and looking at me with teary eyes. Sounds like she burned herself. Her fingers are covered in band-aids, causing me to think of the damage she could have done elsewhere. I look around the kitchen, it looks like an absolute war zone, but I spot a bowl of what seems to be rice porridge on the counter. Did you make that? For me? You shouldn't be up. You have a fever. I do? Yeah, you do. Aoi leads her head in, and for a moment I think she's trying to kiss me, but then our foreheads touch and I almost faint from my misunderstanding. You're still burning up. Go back to the couch. What? I get escorted to whence I came. She sits me down and hurriedly brings me the bowl of rice porridge to me. The bowl sits in front of me on the coffee table, and at first glance it looks completely edible. I almost think my eyes are playing tricks on me. This must be the first time she's ever cooked, right? And she got it down to a T? I looked at her with shocked eyes. You made this? Yeah, I tried. I used a simple recipe online and I followed each instruction properly, so it should be decent. But then again, I've never cooked before, so... I put the tray with the rice porridge on my lap and scoop a spoonful. If it was a simple recipe, then she couldn't have messed it up, right? Here goes nothing. Right as I lift the spoon to my face, I can smell the burnt aroma of the rice porridge and any sort of expectations vastly disappear. Despite the smell, I put the spoon in my mouth and taste her hard work. So, how is it? It's burnt and salty as hell, but it's not inedible. And her anticipating face makes it harder for me to break it to her. With just that one word, she already figures out my answer. So it's bad. No, it's not bad. It's just, a little burnt and a little too salty. Aoi's shoulders slump in dejection. But it's not bad. Trust me, it's not bad at all. I mean, for a first-timer? Wow. You're really just bringing this a little too easy on her, huh? I bring another spoonful into my mouth and swallow it with ease, hoping to show to Aoi that it really isn't inedible. You don't have to continue eating. I'm going to because it's fine, and besides, you spent so much effort on this. How could I toss it away? I'm not one to waste food. I'm thankful that you even tried to help me recover. I don't know when I got this fever, but gosh, it's a pain in the butt already. Though I already think it's died down now. Say, did you eat yet? I'll go make something real quick. I instinctively get up to do my job, but she drags me back down to the couch. Sit. You still have a fever going on, just rest for a while. Don't worry about me for the time being, worry about yourself. Get to bed early tonight and don't concern yourself with my breakfast and lunch tomorrow. What are you gonna eat then? Store-bought food, what else? I'd rather you rest up for the next couple of days than have my maid go to the hospital. I back down after she scolds me slightly and I continue eating the homemade rice porridge. I've forgotten how scary she can sound. I resume eating my mediocre meal in silence, but I can't help but notice the chef's intense stare. Aoi is seated next to me and continues to monitor me intently with every spoonful. Can you stop watching me eat? It's making me nervous. I'm making sure you don't randomly faint and that you get to bed properly after eating. Speaking of which, you should stop eating that garbage. I like how she gave it to her and then she calls it garbage. I'm fine, seriously, I'm not gonna faint out of nowhere, and I'm sure my fever is dying down. I touch my forehead to confirm. I can't tell. I'll personally escort you to bed if I need to. What else are you gonna do? Sleep with me too? No. I snicker at how discomposed she automatically becomes after one mere suggestion. I proceed towards the kitchen and leave the bowl in the sink, as well as everything else she used to cook earlier. These can be cleaned tomorrow. I'm ordered to go to sleep early anyways. The clock in the microwave reads 8:57 p.m. I didn't notice until now how early it still is. Even if I tried to, I'd probably just be rolling around in bed unable to sleep. But maybe this excruciating headache will help, though it's deadly as can be. I reach for the cabinet where the painkillers are and I take 2 tablets while chugging a glass of water down. It might have been a bad idea to finish off all that salty rice porridge, but how could I not? It was Aoi's first dish, and I couldn't let her efforts go to waste like that. Aoi then comes up to me and badgers me with question after question. Do you need anything? Do I need to go to the store to get anything for you? Do you need more medicine? I'll go buy you some food for when you wake up. Aoi, calm down. I don't need anything. Her face tells me she's not convinced, but I really don't need anything else. All I need is some good sleep. But seeing her worried like that makes me want to tease her a bit. Though it would be nice if I had a comfier and expensive bed to sleep in, and I'd probably sleep a lot better, you know? Her eyes widen like she has the best solution to my problem. You can sleep in my bed tonight. I'm taken aback about how fast she answered that with no hesitation whatsoever. Well, what? If it would help you get better, that is. I mean, I need you to get better so you can quickly get back to your duties. I was joking, and besides, I'd pass my fever to you if I were to sleep in the same bed. Same bed? I'd be sleeping in your bed or the couch if you slept in mine. At that moment, it finally occurs to me that I've greatly misunderstood. My face burns intensely, and it isn't because of the fever. I turn away from her out of embarrassment and mentally slap myself in the face. Why did I automatically assume we would be sleeping together? The image of us sleeping in the same bed flashes across my mind, and I quickly try to push it out. Are you okay? I spin around and our faces are only inches apart. On instinct, I back up and nearly knock into something over the counter. Akane, you... I'm gonna go sleep now, good night. I literally run past her and go straight to my bedroom, throwing myself on the bed in hopes I can hit my head on the headboard and knock myself out. Unfortunately, I'm still conscious. Aoi's close-up face is still in my head, and it makes me remember that one time we accidentally kissed. Yeah, it happened not that long ago, we know. She's very taken aback by it. I buried my head under my pillow to block out all the strange thoughts floating in my head. What's gotten it into me so seriously? Why am I so self-conscious about Aoi now? Is my fever so bad that it's melting my brain? I was probably acting so suspicious just then. I hate this. It must be the fever. It has to be. Oh yeah, I'm sure it's just the fever. No other feelings involved here. Couldn't be. In a Yuri game? No way. Not possible. Day 80 out of 95. We're getting towards the end. Coming up on it. I take a big stretch and crack my back after hours of sitting at my desk. No luck in the apartment hunting department yet again. I mean, you only got 15 days. Or something else may happen. Who knows? Everything's either priced too high or in a place that's too inconvenient. This majorly sucks. There are only 15 days before this whole Maid thing is done with. If I don't find a place by then, I'll probably be sleeping on the streets. 15 days, huh? When I think about it for some reason, I'm feeling a bit sad when hypothetically I should be happy. These past months have been a roller coaster, but it was so comfortable living here. I might have gotten too accustomed to this place. And Aoi. I can't rest easy knowing she's going to be living alone again soon. Will she be alright? I turn off my laptop and reach for my phone to check the time. 1:54 a.m. Whoa, almost 2 in the morning. I need to stop sleeping so late, so this can't possibly be good for my skin. I let out a sigh and head towards my bed, but the growl from my stomach starts begging for attention. You can't eat this late, Akane. Absolutely not. And it won't hurt. You'll be fine. Maybe a glass of water can trick my stomach into thinking I'm eating. Or is that being too naive? Either way, I get up and travel to the kitchen for a glass of water. As I open my door and walk out of the hallway, I spot a dark figure at the dining table. Is that a ghost? No way, no way, no way! I panic and stop in my tracks, but upon further inspection, it's only Aoi. Wow, I could have told you that. Like, what do you mean? You don't live alone. God, Aoi, you scared the crap out of me. Just why are you sitting here in the dark like this? Turn on the lights, for God's sake. No, just leave it. Aoi's sharp tone shocks me and holds me back from lighting up the room. I pour myself a glass of water and sit in the seat across from her. She's curled up in her chair, chin tucked between her knees and looking down at the table. A bottle of wine rests on the table, with a glass half full of the bitter red liquid. Were you drinking? I was about to, until you interrupted me. Even with the curtains drawn, the moonlight manages to cascade its light into the open room, allowing me to make out Aoi's shiny eyes. She swirls the glass of wine slowly with her hands, but ends up leaving it on the table without even taking a sip. I give her stone frozen face a worried look. Wait, Aoi, were you crying? She looks away promptly and denies my accusation. No. Not believing her lie, I quickly walk up to her and cup her face in my hands for a better look to confirm my suspicions. Stop that. I can now see the tear stains down her rosy cheeks more clearly. You totally were. She pries my hands off and scowls at the embarrassment of getting caught lying. Are you okay? Do you want to talk about it? No. You know, bottling up your emotions like that is just going to kill you faster. Good. No, that's not good. Talking about it will help a lot. Trust me. It's good to at least get it off your chest a bit. After some coaxing, she lets out a big, tired sigh and starts spilling her troubles. It's nothing, really. Just work stuff. What about work stuff? It's just, I'm tired and stressed. There's so much going on right now at the company, and there are so many decisions to make and expectations to meet. I'm afraid I'm not cut out for this anymore. It was easy at first, but as time goes on, the pressure is getting higher and higher. I'm going to be running a huge, multi-millionaire company sometime soon in the future. I know I'm not the one making the most important decisions yet, but the tasks are still daunting. I'm trying my best, but I'm always afraid my best isn't good enough. She buries her head in her arms and knees, and soon the sniffles follow, signaling that she's crying again. Holy crap, but she's crying. What do I do? What do I do? I awkwardly hug and pat her on the back, hoping that it would be somewhat comforting. There, you'll be okay. I have no idea if those words even mean anything to her right now, but unfortunately, it's the best I could do at the moment. The last thing I thought I'd be doing is consoling this usually haughty girl. After a few minutes, she becomes quiet and slowly pushes me away. I watch her stand up from her fetal position and wipe her tears vigorously on the back of her hand. Sorry, I didn't mean to suddenly break down like that. I look pathetic, don't I? She briskly storms to her room without waiting for an answer, but I catch up and grab onto her hand, preventing her from fleeing. In contrast to when she first held me hostage, Aoi's hands are warm and tender, almost as if they'd break if I held onto them any tighter. She freezes in place and turns her head around with a shocked expression, displaying puffy red eyes. No, you don't. It's only normal to cry from time to time, especially with all that you have on your plate right now. Aoi bites her quivering lip and turns away from me again, probably to stop her tears from falling again. I can tell she's trying to worm her hand out of mine, but that only makes me solidify my grip on her hand even more. Let's go. Her full attention is on me again, now with raised eyebrows giving me a questioning look. Go? I'll take you somewhere, so grab your car keys and let's go. Go where? It's 2 in the morning right now. You're crazy. Just trust me. I look into her eyes with a sense of determination to show I'm serious and not just joking around. Her eyes are filled with worry and doubt, contemplating whether or not to agree. After a long moment of reluctance, she slowly gives in. This better be worth it. You won't regret it. Soon after, we both change out of our pajamas and head out into the dead of night. We're either going to a romantic spot or we're going to the club. The view of the sea is starting to become more visible even in the dark night as we near our destination. Aoi finds a parking spot nearby as I marvel at the huge unoccupied beach before us. Not a single soul is around, as if the beach was reserved only for us. The only thing greeting us is the crashing of the waves and fishy smell of seawater. A beach? I've actually done a beach date at about 3 or 4 in the morning, so this is about the same time. It's actually really relaxing. I mean, I didn't really care for the person I was going on the date with, but it was a nice conversation. I mean, I saw them as a friend, not really anything more. And unfortunately, they saw me as something more, and I kind of had to let them down. And this actually happened like twice. But, you know, a beach is a good place for a nice, relaxing date. Just talk about life. Aoi locks the car doors once we step out into the heated summer air. The waves rock back and forth, splashing the sand with its chilly waters. I eagerly drag the hesitant Aoi down the steps and towards the warm, untouched sand. Why'd you have to take me to the beach? Just because. You need some fresh air. I excitedly kick off my flip-flops, and into the shallow waters I go. The cold seawater hitting against my legs helps cool down the warm summer temperature, tempting me to splash around. I turn around to Aoi and beckon her to join me. Come on, the water feels amazing. Aoi rolls her eyes but chuckles and eventually gives in to my pleas. She removes her shoes and rushes towards me while kicking a huge splash at me. My body shivers from the sudden mini shower. She laughs out loud and prepares to drench me again, but I retaliate and give her a taste of her own medicine. Kya! Come on, come here, you. I try to flee, but the resistance of the water slows me down and I eventually get caught with a huge splash in my back. We continue splashing and chasing each other into the empty sea to the point where both of us are nearly drenched. Once our mini playtime session is over, we stop to catch our breaths under the night sky with the waves gently surrounding our calves. Seeing Aoi able to genuinely laugh and have some fun relieves me, knowing that she can forget about her worries, albeit temporarily. I stare out into the void where the thousands of building lights illuminate the abyss-like ocean. Ah! I want to be a model! Why can't I get hired? I shout at the top of my lungs towards the night horizon, the one question that's always on my mind. The emptiness causes my voice to echo, but delivers it to no one but the fishes in the sea. I look to Aoi, who's sporting wide-open eyes, and encourage her to do the same. Try it. It always helps me distress in my own mysterious way. Aoi's face screams skeptical. She looks at the endless waters hesitantly, and only the lulls of the wave are heard. But a moment later, she opens her mouth wide and follows my example. Ah! I hate all this pressure and all the expectations. I'm really, really, really stressed. Just like earlier, only the waves respond. That's all we need. Somewhere to put aside our stressed feelings, even if it's only temporarily. Aoi laughs and shakes her head at this seemingly childish method. Do you do this frequently? My feet lightly kick against the current and I'm getting shy for some reason. Haha, back then, yeah. This was whenever I managed to find a friend that was down to drive to the beach during ungodly hours. You're really something else, you know that? She leaves the body of water and treks back to the sand, taking a seat. Her eyes look to the wide and merciless ocean, as if she's searching for answers to her qualms. To my surprise, she's not begging to go home, and instead absorbs the nature around us at 2 in the morning. The gritty sand sticks to her wet feet as I follow her footsteps to the shore and sit next to her, staring at the starry sky. Our shoulders bump when I take a seat, but Aoi doesn't flinch and we end up leaning against each other, with the high from earlier clearly coming to an end. Although neither of us are speaking, the silence is the kind that's comforting and soothing. Just a couple of girls admiring the mesmerizing waves swaying to and fro. Thank you. For what? For bringing me out here to get some fresh air. How do you know it wasn't just me using you to go to the beach to relieve my own stress? It doesn't matter. She takes a deep breath to fully immerse herself in the fresh yet salty air. When was the last time she probably went out like this instead of cooping herself up in her room? I forget what it feels like to not think about work all the time, to be out and enjoy myself. Even watching Patio House doesn't hold a candle to sitting here staring at virtually nothing. Thanks for giving me the opportunity. It's nothing, really. It was 2 birds with 1 stone. I got to scream into the abyss too, after all. But do let me know if you want to come back here again. I'd love to scream at nothing with you. There's absolutely no need for you to put up such a strong barrier all the time. I'm your housemate, roommate, and honestly, I might as well be your wife if you think about it. Whoa, Akane. Whoa. Hold up. I want to see what her response to this is. I just said what came to mind, but now that I think over what I just said, addressing myself as her wife makes me blush unexpectedly. I avoid making eye contact with her and pray to God that my red face is invisible in the darkness. Anyway, I'm here for you to confide in, so stop keeping things to yourself and scaring the crap out of me by sitting in the dark at ungodly hours. Aoi doesn't respond and invites the silence back between us again. But after a while, out of nowhere, I finally unlock her sad backstory. Let's go. My mom left my dad and I when I was 6 years old because all Dad did was work. She made one of the best home-cooked meals, and we actually sat and ate together. I'd be lucky if I can even sit together with my dad for an hour for non-business related things nowadays. She continues looking out into the open sea with longing eyes. Her soft voice almost gets drowned out by the various sounds around us, but at the same time, her words are the only thing I can hear. I don't know why she didn't take me with her. How different would my life have been? Maybe she couldn't. Custody things, perhaps? I hadn't seen her since then, so it'd be a lie if I said I didn't miss her, but those memories have become so distant now. Blurred. But you brought them back with that first meal you made me. Her normally penetrating gaze is now looking at me innocently, like a lost little girl. Our eyes lock onto each other and I can't seem to look anywhere else. It's like her eyes are a pair of magnets, pulling me into the deep blue orbs of hers. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Both? She smiles slightly, unsure of what she meant. Aoi breaks the stable eye contact we've been holding and looks out to the numerous tall, shadowed buildings. But as time went by, it became a different feeling. Well, that's good to hear that I've given you a good experience, especially since we started off with a rocky start. She faces me again with a happier look. I'm surprised too. You've made me realize a lot of things. Oh, like what? Her head tilts onto her pulled up knees and arms playfully, cheekily taunting me with suspense. Not telling. Eh? Another story event I have to unlock. Yep. Even with her smug and teasing look, I can only laugh at her childish antics and hope that there will come a day when I can lock all of her secrets. Her sapphire eyes stay locked onto my own chocolate irises, and now it's her turn to interrogate me. Say, what made you want to become a model? Because she's into herself and thinks she looks really good? No, that's just what it sounded like when she was first describing it. It sounded like she was super into herself. The question takes me by surprise. I slowly look up to the sky and think back to my younger days. Well, I've always admired the beautiful women in magazines ever since I was a kid, and the passion for beauty and modeling just stuck with me or something. I've always been told I was pretty by my family and friends growing up, so I guess the ego just kept me going. Which I agree with 100%. I'm pretty gorgeous if I do say so myself. Wow, you are so humble. So humble right now, Akane. So humble. I do a sassy hair flip and shoot her a smirk. Aoi jokingly rolls her eyes as she chuckles, but smiles that rare heartwarming smile of hers in the moonlight. You are. The unexpected compliment warms my face as if the summer heat hasn't already affected it. To avoid her gaze, I end up looking down at the tiny grains of sand as if they were the most interesting things in the world. I shuffle my feet a bit in the sand and suddenly feeling nervous with the spotlight on me. I then started to getting into makeup and fashion around middle school, and then started modeling a bit during high school secretly for small magazines. And ever since, I was hooked. After high school, I ditched college and moved here. I started doing small modeling gigs here and there for friends, or for very small companies while working at a convenience store and modeling agency hunting. And now, here I am, still without a modeling job or agency that will accept me. Which, I don't understand why, because I'm pretty as hell, hot as hell, and with a personality to boot. Yeah, you sure have a personality, alright. You tell her, Aoi. You got her. Hey, what is that supposed to mean? Aoi laughed out loud into the sky and shakes her head. Nothing, nothing. I didn't mean anything at all. You yourself are a handful too, you know that? I know that very well. Hey, at least she acknowledges it. The conversation soon dies as we let the distant waves fill the silence and stargaze for the rest of the night. It's now nearing 3 a.m., and the seaside is still as quiet as when we got here an hour ago. It's as if this is a world with only us in it. That's what it means to be in love. Aoi secretly hides a yawn, but I notice and I think it's time to go home and get some beauty rest for both of us. It's not often I stay up this late nowadays since my day starts off early with Aoi's day, but as much as I'd like to stay and even wait for the sunrise, I'm sure that the princess over here could fall asleep any minute now. Shall we go home? She rubs her eyes and stretches her arms and legs while letting out another yawn. She stands up and the warmth of my shoulder from where she was leaning on is replaced by the breeze. Aoi walks ahead of me as I stare at her figure slowly becoming farther and farther. Suddenly, I wish we had stayed just a tad longer. She turned around, wondering why I'm still not leaving yet. What's wrong? Nothing. I trace her steps back to the car and we travel quietly back home. I leave the lights off as the moonlight is still bright enough to light the way through the house, and we both make a beeline to our rooms, ready to pass out. Thinking back on tonight, I'm surprised Aoi even agreed to my plan. And it turned out for the best. She was able to have some fun, and I feel like this bonding session has shown me many more sides to the mysterious Aoi. Somehow gives me a fuzzy feeling knowing that she can trust me more, but then I think that it might be too late already since I'll be leaving soon. The thought weighs my heart down, and I try not to think about it and not let it ruin the good vibes. Right when I reach my door, Aoi's voice rings throughout the motionless condo. Akane. I turn to look at her, wondering if she had an order for me. Good night. I laugh to myself at having thought it was something serious, but I repeat the formality with a smile. Good night. I close my door and lean against it in the dark, thinking back to her goodnight. What a nice way to end the night. I wonder if things weren't so rough at the beginning of our relationship, would it have been like this from the start? Though without the whole rocky start, I wouldn't have even met her in the first place. But I wish this would last longer. I'm finally appreciating her more, yet it's all going to end in 15 days. How unfortunate. I wonder if they're just going to time skip to like the last few days. Oh, they're just going straight to the last day then. Okay. It's the last day I'm going to be living in this luxurious condo, and the bitter feeling in my heart is still lingering. It's as if I don't want to leave. Is it because I've grown too attached to this place? Too used to the luxurious and easy lifestyle? The unknown reason leaves me sighing constantly throughout the day. Why are you sighing so much lately? Didn't you already lift a huge weight off your shoulders recently? Don't tell me the apartment you found the other day ended up being a no-go. I added another neatly folded shirt to the stack I completed so far. No, it's not that. It's just other things. Aoi sorts out the freshly laundered clothes and hands another one of her shirts to me. You can tell me about it if you want. Is it about getting a job? No, it's... There's no way I can tell her about my confused feelings towards leaving this place. What if she thinks I don't want to leave because I want to mooch off her, or that I'm using her? I don't want her to hate me. To stray away from talking about my unknown emotions, I turn the spotlight to her and switch the topic. You're going to be leaving extra early for work tomorrow, right? Yeah, I have to prepare for a big presentation. And thanks to that, I won't be able to send you off. Shh, don't be sappy, it's whatever. I say it's whatever, but don't make me feel rather disheartened. But I mean, I can technically call her out for lunch or dinner any time, isn't that right? I have to remind myself that this isn't a permanent goodbye. Though knowing how busy she is, it might as well be. Oh, and remind me to give you back the key fob. She shakes her head lightly while still concentrating on sorting the clothes. Just keep it. Are you for real? Why would I keep it? Keep it. Since she's so adamant about me holding on to it, I dropped the issue. Well then, don't mind if I borrow your place for house parties. Let me know ahead of time so I can install soundproofing walls in my room. Wait a minute, that means I actually can? No. That's what I thought. We both giggle at our foolish banter only to be interrupted by my phone going off. The number shown on the caller ID doesn't look familiar, but I pick it up anyways. Hello? Hello, is this Tanaka Akane? Yes, who is this? This is Haibara from Yuri Model Management. I'm here to congratulate you on being successfully chosen as our new talent agent. We'd like you to start next week at 10 a.m. To get all the paperwork and formalities out of the way. If you have any questions, feel free to call this number again during our regular office hours. We are pleased to have you on board. I can't believe my ears. I finally got hired? Am I hallucinating? I can finally start my dream career. My heart's pounding so hard that I can hear it in my ears, and I quickly thank the caller. Yes, yes, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The caller hangs up and I jump and bounce in glee, even going so as far as to pounce on Aoi and give her a big hug. I got the job. I'm in a modeling agency as a model. Really, congratulations. I can feel the tears of joy welling up in my eyes as I continue hugging Aoi out of ecstasy. This all could very well be a fever dream, but whether it is or not, I'm going to live it out to the end. After years of searching and interviews, I've been finally accepted and my dream career is finally going to start. If all goes well, I won't ever need to work at a dumb convenience store ever again. The endless possibilities running through my head as I come to a stop when Aoi breaks my train of thought. Akane, you're hugging a bit too tight. I come back to earth and realize I'm slightly latching onto Aoi. Sorry. However, my delight can't fully stop and I end up jumping up and down and twirling in glee. I stare at my phone some more, still not believing that my life is finally taking a step forward. I'm probably grinning from ear to ear like an idiot, but frankly, I don't care. For the past 6 years, I've been waiting and waiting to the point of almost giving up. And now I don't need to wait any longer. The emotions whirring inside of me cause me to tear up as I think back to the arduous journey here. At this point, I don't know if I'm laughing or crying. I don't know what I did right, but I'm finally thriving for once. Aoi pats me on the back and congratulates me once again. Congratulations on your model debut. She sports a kind and gentle expression, adding a type of warmth alongside the roller coaster I'm experiencing on the inside. Thank you! Honestly, I feel like you're some sort of lucky... My praise for Aoi gets interrupted as the entrance door suddenly beeps and I'm followed by the sound of a stranger entering. Oh no, she's already got a new maid. No, this can't be happening. You're supposed to be her maid. My eyes open wide, not knowing who in the world could have access to the condo. Is it a robber? How did they manage to get up here? The happiness I was feeling just a second ago instantly evolves into terror, and I turn to Aoi, asking with my eyes what to do in this alarming situation. Yet Aoi's face is nowhere near scared. In fact, she's as calm as ever. How could you be calm at a time like this? Pardon the intrusion. An unknown voice reverberates through the house, and a fashionable woman appears before us. Her olive green short hair is kept neatly yet stylish, and she's clad in a casual blazer with a loose tank top and shorts. She's visibly tall with boyish features, and each step of her exudes a confident aura that can no doubt make anyone fall for her. Do robbers always look this pretty? Aoi-chan! The stranger runs up to Aoi and gives her a big squeeze, excited to see her. Question marks are still flying over my head, and I blink in confusion, not getting the memo. The woman in question finally turns and studies me. Oh, so is this your little kitten you picked up? She's a beautiful one. Ahem. Aoi begins introducing us to each other, and I'm still left in the dark as to why I didn't know why we were expecting guests. Midori. This is Tanaka Akane. Akane Mikawa Midori. She's the cousin that I mentioned a while back. I forgot she was coming over today to deliver some work documents. Sorry for the shock. Oh, thank goodness she's just a cousin. I thought this was going to be another love interest. I was like, oh no. Oh, come on. Am I that forgettable to you, my dearest Aoi-chan? Or is it because you've been too distracted with your new plaything? Shut it, you. Yeah, shut it, Midori. Cousin? She mentioned a cousin before? Oh yes, the cousin that told her to move without a moving company for the experience. Now that I look at her, she does seem to be free and go with the wind where the wind takes you type. Nice to meet you, Mikawa Midori-san. Just Midori is fine. Midori circles around me and surveys me from head to toe. But say, Aoi, she looks just as gorgeous as she does in pictures. Midori wraps her arm around my shoulder and very casually twirls my hair, sending shivers down my spine. If I had known, I would come to visit you every day just to see this beauty. A budding model, was it? Yes. Aoi-chan has told me so much about you. Really? The closeness that started upon me without warning causes me to blush, while her sweet, musky perfume dizzies me with intoxication. Would you be by chance single? You can't possibly be with that cute face of yours. I am, actually. How interesting. I wonder, do you take private modeling bookings? I would love to book a session with you. Whoa, what is with that face? Look at her tongue. Hold up. So this is maybe some kind of a rival, but not in the way I thought. She's trying to get with her. What the? Her voice being so close to my ear makes me quiver some more, with each word tingling my senses as they travel directly to me. The idea of a private modeling session catches me off guard, and I gulp nervously while blushing excessively, knowing full well what she means. Thanks to Midori, I completely forgot that Aoi is still here with us until she rips her flirtatious cousin away from me angrily. Stop that, you're making her feel uncomfortable. Midori laughs heartily and apologizes with her hands up in the air like she got caught by the police. Haha, sorry, was I making you uncomfortable? No, not at all. Out of politeness, I reply no, but I wasn't exactly comfortable either, though not necessarily in a bad way. See, she wasn't uncomfortable. Midori smirks triumphantly at Aoi, which she replies with an unmused squint. You can't blame me though, can you? She's a cutie. I don't know how you were able to keep your hands off of her. The flood of compliments keeps increasing the high temperature in my face to the point where I can't even feel the heat in my ears. Now, I want to entertain the idea of having to work for Midori instead of Aoi. I definitely would still be doing labor, except in a different way. Oh. I see. I mentally shake my head to get the electrifying thoughts out of my mind and pay attention to the matters at hand. Midori then starts examining the whole condo from top to bottom, admiring my cleaning job. I step closer and whisper to Aoi, fearing Midori might hear me talking about her. Do you give a key to your place to just anyone? No, I only get to people I highly trust, and shockingly, Midori is one of those people I do, though sometimes I wish I didn't. Wow, Akane-chan, you did a hell of a job making this place not look like a pig's pen. It's changed so drastically in comparison to the last time I was here. Aoi's eyebrows are scrunched and her fists are tightened at her side, visibly upset at her cousin's longer than anticipated stay. Can you just hand over the documents and be on your way? Alright. Midori's hands over a beige envelope with her bag, and Aoi opens it to quickly scan it. Though I'm surprised you haven't fallen in love with Akane-chan here. She cooks for you, she cleans for you, and what was it that you once told me about? Right, she delivered your forgotten lunch to you, and after all, if that's not a perfect candidate, I don't know what is. Aoi's face bursts into redness, and she raises her voice unnaturally to deny any allegations in a fit of panic. Of course not. There's no way I'd be able to fall in love with her. She's nagging and she can be annoying sometimes, not to mention she's undoubtedly not my type at all. The relationship between us is merely just employer and employee. Nothing more. She's just a random stranger I forced to work for me in order to pay off the damages to my clothes. It was two birds with one stone, that's all. As if my heart was on a roller coaster, the deadly drop of the carts falls steeply, and it keeps going lower and lower, soon to crash and decimate onto the floor. My day went from joyful to petrified to miserable in a matter of less than 10 minutes. I dare not to look at her, fearing that I might punch her in the face. After all we've been through... Oh, hold up, my cat's opening my door again. Alright, sorry about that. Was I the only one that thought we were getting closer? What happened to being friends? Was it all just one-sided this entire time? No, I think she's just saying that 'cause she's a little caught off guard. And you're probably going to have some fight about this, and she's going to be like, actually, no, I love you. And you're going to be like, well, I actually love you too. That's where I see this going. Let's find out if I'm right. Yet at the same time, the feeling of sorrow overpowers the feelings of wrath, leaving my thoughts all jumbled. Though what was I even expecting? What was I hoping from her? For her to jump out and say she's had fallen in love with me? That's crazy. But what is this mess of feelings I'm going through right now? Aoi's ringtone sounds as she grabs her phone from the coffee table. I have to take this. She withdraws into her room, leaving me with Midori in the open living room, which feels a lot emptier than it has ever been. I try to suppress the rising emotions inside of me by trying to take care of the guest. Do you want a glass of water? I'll go get you one. Though I feel like I'm the one who needs a glass of water to cool down. I venture into the drink and pour... I venture into the drink. Gosh, I have a hard time. I swear. I venture to the kitchen and pour her a drink and hear her footsteps walk up near me. You know she didn't mean all that, right? Oh, thank goodness, Midori. You're smart. You're a smart woman. You understand. I appreciate that. The tone in Midori's voice has shifted from a flamboyant energy to a more serious mood. It doesn't matter to me. I'm leaving tomorrow. And even if I do keep in touch, I feel like she'd be way too busy to keep in contact. We'd just be strangers again, which I guess is what we've always been somehow. I hand her the glass of water and lean against the kitchen counter with arms crossed. I feel like I'm comforting myself more than answering Midori with these responses. But why am I so frustrated? If this was day one, I would have been completely fine with it. Yet here I am in anguish over her harsh words. Why? We're just friends, roommates, makeshift maid and employer, strangers. So why? Do you have feelings for Aoi? What? My voice unknowingly raises at the bizarre inquiry, causing Midori to flinch a little. Feelings for Aoi? No way. But at the very mention of liking Aoi, my heart begins to race. Y'all, don't be denying your feelings. If you got feelings, you got feelings. It's nothing to be ashamed of. I squeeze my fist and stare at the floor to try to calm the heartbeats down, but to no avail. I think I might just stab a knife through my heart to stop the rampant beating. No. If she can't even think about falling in love with me, then neither can I. There's no way, we're both girls anyways. Okay, that means nothing, but sure. Girls can have feelings for girls too. Yeah, thank you, Midori. I can't believe that I uttered the most cliche misconception ever, even if I was in a state of fury. I know. Midori crosses her arms and relaxes a bit, drinking her water. Well, just so you know, she truly... Before Midori can finish her sentence, Aoi's room door swings open and she looks around for us. She joins us in the kitchen with her arms crossed, suspiciously eyeing Midori. Did I miss anything? Nope, not at all. She flashes a cheeky smile at Aoi, raising her own suspicion even more. Midori puts her glass down and turns back to me to resume our conversation. Aoi grabs her attention again, though, before Midori can say a word to me. Also, why are you still here? Don't you have better things to do than annoy your cousin? Why would I want to leave when I can enjoy the best eye candy right here? She gestures her head towards my direction and looks at me with a cheeky smile. Your best bet, I'll be coming over more often. I won't bet on it because she's leaving tomorrow. Then all the more reason for me to stay longer today, no? As abashed as she makes me, I'll be glad for her to stay as long as possible to dissipate the unknown feelings rampaging inside of me. But I guess it's time for me to make my way back. Midori wanders to the entranceway and passes me by with a wink. I'll be taking my leave, little kitten. She turns back to Aoi and waves goodbye before disappearing out the door. Midori never finished her sentence. I shake my head slightly to snap her out of the bad mood and return to folding clothes. As soon as Aoi sits down next to me, I immediately flinch and freeze up. I don't really want to see her right now, or else I'm afraid I'll start a fight. You don't need to help anymore. I'm fine on my own. Just go back to your room. Are you sure? Yes. I can feel the anger boiling again, and I pray she leaves before it boils over. Thankfully, she leaves without another word back to her den. As soon as she disappears into her room, I continue folding the clothes sloppily, still thinking about her words earlier. It feels bad. I don't know what to think about it. I don't want to think about it. But I can't stop thinking about it. It's gonna take some time, but you know, I just when you were cleaning her room before, and she got, I don't know, she kind of got mad at you for looking at that picture. I feel like that's the kind of situation it's gonna be. It's gonna take her a little time. She's gonna think about it. She's gonna realize, oh, maybe she likes me, and maybe some of the things I said were a little bit hurtful. But later that night, we'll find out what she says. The remaining hours left in the condo end up being weird, with me replying with only one-word answers and sometimes even nothing. Just like I said, this is very similar to where she was only responding with a few words before. I'm sure Aoi has caught on to my sullen mood, but I'm not too certain she knows why. Because of my lack of responses, she's become fed up with the silent treatment. Aoi sits next to me on the couch and confronts me about my attitude. Okay, what's going on? You're acting strange. I continue scrolling through my phone next to her and reply without eye contact. Nothing. You're lying. Anybody who says nothing is lying. It's nothing, so just go to sleep, will you? The volume of my voice raises a tad bit higher than I intended by continuing with the act. There's a minute of silence, and I hold myself back from checking Aoi's expression by staying fixated on my phone, even though I'm not paying any attention to what's on screen at all. Then, good night. Without another word, Aoi dejectedly retreats to her room with footsteps dragging behind her. When I hear the click of the door close, I put my phone down and assess my own behavior. Is this attitude towards Aoi really justified? Because I feel like absolute crap. You need to go into her room. Go knock on her door right now. She doesn't have time for you in the morning, unless she ends up, canceling our meeting. I wake up to an empty house, remembering that Aoi has already left for work hours ago. The movers don't come until 10 a.m., so I let myself sleep without worrying about needing to make breakfast and lunch for a certain someone. A piece of paper is left on the kitchen counter from Aoi, and I unfortunately recall last night's sour mood. I told my butler to drop you off at your new place when the movers are done packing. Oh wow. Now I feel kind of bad for last night. I leave the note there and proceed to eat some onigiri in the fridge so I don't need to take out my pans, and right on the dot at 10 a.m., the movers come and do their thing. As expected, their professionalism is unmatched, moving boxes proficiently and quickly. So as to not get in their way, I mainly stay on the couch and watch while browsing social media. Thanks to their promptness, they managed to finish in less than an hour, mainly because I don't have much stuff anyways. The movers start packing the protective layer of company branded boards and cloth on the floor, and I notice the closed room nearest to the kitchen. I hesitate before entering, but I still have to return her credit card. I turn the handle and a surprisingly clean room welcomes me. Her walk-in closet is still kind of messy, but I won't dock points off for that. What catches my attention is that her desk appears especially neat, even with piles of documents and folders. So it seems she did do her homework. Interesting. I leave her credit card on the table and leave everything else as it is when I walked in. When I make my way back to the living room, I look around the condo from the entrance hall. Ah, I'll definitely miss this place. It's okay, when I become a famous model, I'll earn big bucks and get myself a place like this. Though somewhere deep down inside of me tells me it's not the condo that I'll miss most. I sigh and exit the door after one last glance and head back down to where Butler San is waiting. Okay, how are they gonna end this? There's no way she's just gonna move out. There's gotta be something that brings them back together. 2.5 weeks later. Yes, just like that. Another pose, please. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. A few more. Look over here, please. Stunning. The blinding flashes cease, and the photographer and I gather around the monitor to take a look at the photos. Each photo managed to capture all of my good sides, and they all turned out super well. I'm sure it'd look even better once edited and published. These are the still small gigs, but I just have to continue to getting my name out there and doing my best. Okay, it's a wrap. Thank you so much for all your hard work. Thank you for the hard work. I make sure to thank all the staff with a bow, and I hurry to change out of the clothes. My manager meets up with me after changing and relays my schedule for the week. You have another shoot coming up the day after tomorrow, so you're free to take a break until then. Akane, you're on a roll. Keep it up. In no time, I'm sure I'll easily find you better opportunities in the future. It's been approximately 2.5 weeks since the day I moved out from Aoi's place. Since then, I've been thriving and living my own life while jobs are easily coming in thanks to my trusty manager. It's certainly a lot busier than acting as a housewife, but life is much more colorful and interesting, albeit more stressful. But no matter how hard I try to keep her out of my mind, I can't help but think and worry about Aoi. Thoughts like, is she eating properly? Is she cleaning the place properly? Did she shrink her shirt because she threw it in the dryer instead of the hang drying it? Keep living in my head rent-free, and I don't even know why. We haven't even messaged each other online ever since I left. She's probably just busy, and it would be nice if she'd reach out just once. Though how I treated her that day. I'm not surprised she hasn't reached out. No. She's no concern anymore, so stop thinking about her. I slap my cheek slightly to snap out of it. She doesn't need you anymore, Akane. Akane, you getting on the car or what? Coming. Alright, be the bigger woman. Message her first, okay? Stop this, like, games you're playing. Just message her. The door opens with a click, and I turn on the lights to my small apartment that's reminiscent of my old one. I throw my bag onto the bed and go to my dresser to remove my earrings and place them neatly in the top drawer. However, a big black circular shape catches my eyes. I'm about to push the drawer closed. I take out the key fob that Aoi told me to keep and stare at it while the memories of my time there flood back. I subconsciously let out a sigh and flop onto the bed while examining the key fob. Why'd she want me to keep it anyways? I have no use for it anymore. I'd throw it out, but it'd be pretty irresponsible of me. Would someone be able to trace it back to Aoi's place? That's so dangerous. My fingers play around with the metal ring on it, and I think back to that day. Of course not. There's no way I'd be able to fall in love with her. She's naggy and can be annoying sometimes, not to mention she's undoubtedly not my type at all. The relationship between us is merely just employer and employee. Nothing more. She's just a random stranger I forced to work for me in order to pay off the damages to my clothes. It was 2 birds with 1 stone. That's it. I remember the loo of emotions rushing inside of me when it happened. Now that I think back on it with a clear mind, it was a mixture of anger, frustration, disappointment, confusion, and probably everything negative. But remembering this scene again surprisingly doesn't make me as angry or frustrated anymore. Just sad. When I think about it now, it actually seemed like a very Aoi thing to do, bursting out with her crass attitude and whatnot. It's reminiscent of when first meeting her. I couldn't help but chuckle a bit as I recall spilling coffee on her entire outfit. The arm holding up the key fob drops to the soft bed as I scrounge through my bag for her phone. Or for my phone, I guess. Aoi's name on my Ryan's chat list has lowered to the bottom after weeks of not messaging. I open up her chat log and I hoped it was only because I missed a message, but the last thing is just 3 weeks old message. Is just her 3-week-old message. Sorry, I keep forgetting words. Telling me how she dreaded the big presentation she had to do. My finger hovers over the digital keyboard, wanting to reach out. Hey, it's been a while. How are you? I backspace and clear the input field. So, how are you faring without me? I backspace again. I still have your house key and I want to give it back. And I end up deleting the words again before I even finish the message. I let out a huge sigh and I look to the hand that's still holding onto the key fob. This is just taking up space. I really should return this whether she likes it or not. But is she even home? The clock on my phone reads 6:48 p.m. She should be home by now. Do I really want to return it right now? But what if she's not home? I'd feel like a fool for even trying if she wasn't. My eyes go back to the key fob that's resting in my palm and bear holes into it with my long stare. Screw it. I grab my bag from my bed and confidently walk out the door I came through 10 minutes ago. Coming up here still feels like second nature to me as I practically memorize each and every step. I stand before the big door and prepare myself to see Aoi again. Will she scold me for coming by without notice? Or would she hug me while crying, saying she misses my cooking? Fat chance that would happen. I still remember the stiff atmosphere and cold responses I gave Aoi during the last half of the day before I moved out. Was I being too petty? Why was I so mad anyways? That attitude was totally something to be expected of Aoi, so why did I expect anything different? I push the old thoughts out of my mind and take a deep breath before bringing the intercom. I at least have the common sense not to waltz in there, even though I do have the key. However, the door doesn't open. Is she not home? I wait another 30 seconds. Nothing. This is a waste of my time. I really am a fool. Wait. I get ready to leave, but the door finally opens, revealing a distraught-looking Aoi calling out to me. Come in. Oh gosh, it's back to being messy again. The familiar beep signals that the door is automatically unlocked, and I venture into the living room, and I don't even need a closer look to see the huge mess that it is. Takeout cartons and delivery bags are once again strewn across the dinner table, while clothes and papers lie on the floor and couch. Seeing the state of how it looks now seriously gives me deja vu and flashbacks to that very first day. It's not as bad as it was, but it's clear as day that there was no cleaning done at all since I was gone. Wow, you... Honestly, I have no words. I know. Her words sound almost empty. No hint of anger, no hint of sarcasm, no hint of joy. I take a closer look at her and see some dark eye circles. Now I'm worried she might be in a huge slump again. I continue to quickly inspect the condo, and peculiarly, as I pass by her room, I notice that her desk is neat and tidy despite the fact that everything else is not. Well, you did teach her how to clean that, and you did say that you were going to judge her based on it, so that doesn't surprise me she's kept it nice. Anyways, I just came back to give you your condo key fob. I don't need it anymore and it's taking up space. Aoi's eyes open wide with the slightest amount of interest as she watches the key fob dangle from my fingers. No, keep it. What? Why? There's no point in me keeping it. Just keep it. Having enough of her crazy farce, I ignore her request to put the key fob down on the nearby console table and start my way home with my mission completed. But before I can even take another step, Aoi latches onto my wrist and prevents me from leaving. Stay. Stay, please. Aoi's looking down at the floor with a shadow cast over her eyes. I know I blurted out some trashy stuff that one time Midori was here, and I still feel horrible about it. She looks at me with shiny yet pitiful eyes and holds her gaze, albeit shakingly. I really didn't mean it. I was afraid, insecure. I panicked. I don't know. What I do know is I said some awful things I want to take back and let you know that's not how I feel about you at all. I said all of those things on impulse, and yet at the moment, I didn't even think about how rude and disrespectful they were. You've done so much and endured so much for me. You helped me when I needed it the most. Until I started living with you, I never truly never knew what loneliness felt like, and yet now I can't stand it anymore. And what's worse is, I don't think it could be anyone else that could fill the void. You're not just someone I hired anymore. You become so much more, and I know I sound pathetic right now, and you might not even care, but you are important to me. I need you. Not because I need you to cook or clean or anything else. You're more important than that to me, so I don't want us to become strangers again because... Her lips stop moving and her grip tightens while tears are forming, her gaze now unable to stay on mine. I keep my guard up and steel myself from wanting to hug her and tell her that everything's okay. I give her some time to finish her sentence, but I don't have all day. After another minute of silence, I decide to officially leave. Sorry, I gotta go. She's literally trying to confess to you and you're gonna walk away? What do you mean? Hold up, Akane. Don't, you're not this stupid. Don't tell me you're this stupid. You're not. I know you're not this dumb. You know what she's trying to say. You know what she is trying to say. With a heavy heart and heavy steps, I pull my hand away from hers, where she surprisingly releases with no resistance. I approach the door and reach for the handle, but her faint and hushed words behind me bring my feet to a hard break. Because I've fallen in love with you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh, I thought they were going to end it with her not saying it. I was like, please don't do this to me. You've had all this build up in their relationship, in their friendship, and then becoming something more, and you're gonna just let it end like that? There's no way. There's no way. My hand that was en route to the door handle stays still in midair in astonishment at her sudden confession. Did I hear that correctly? My heart, see, I want her to give her heart to her. That's what I'm trying to say. And I keep putting that in the words, yet that's not what they're saying yet. My head slowly turns around to see if there's a crew of production staff with cameras telling me it's a prank, except all I see is Aoi collapsed on her knees, hunched over her face, hidden in her hands, sobbing softly. Seeing her crying in the middle of the room creates a pang of pain in my heart. She looks so lonely. Somehow the bit of resentment in me for Aoi has magically disappeared in a snap of a finger. The vulnerability in her voice makes all of her claims to be believable and makes me think it was all just an idiotic misunderstanding between us two. Such an Aoi thing to do. Well, Akane, you were pretty dumb too, I'm gonna be honest with you. You were pretty dumb. You said some pretty dumb things, and you pretty much ignored her when literally her cousin said that's not how she actually feels. And you probably knew that too. You were probably just playing dumb. Or just, you talked yourself out of it. My feet mysteriously bring me back to where Aoi is, and I kneel down with her. It's as nearly impossible for me to not comfort her. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for liking you. I don't want you to hate me, but I can't control these feelings anymore. Midori was right. How could I not have fallen in love with you? But if I showed it or told you, I was afraid you'd be weirded out and leave me. That's why I panicked and said all those things to try denying it. My hand slightly caress and rub her arm to calm her, as she clings onto my shirt tightly, all the while flooding her eyes by keeping her head down. I was afraid you despised me after that day I said all those things. I wanted to reach out to you this entire time, but I couldn't bring myself to say anything after realizing the things I said. But I can't keep it anymore. I miss you too much. So please, don't hate me, please. Her sobbing is quiet, and it's the only thing I hear as it woefully resonates in the dead silent condo. The mumbled explanation lingers in my ears, causing a mixture of feelings to swirl inside of me. It's finally making me realize what this blurred and puzzling feeling that I've had all along is, and why it hurt a lot when Aoi said all those things that day. It's also clear now that the resentment isn't actually there anymore, just an excuse for me to hate her after that day to protect myself from getting hurt. There's no way I could have truly hated her, because I also, deep down, have grown to harbor romantic feelings. The crying has settled down, and only tiny post-crying hiccups emit from her. Aoi. Just from one word, I can feel her body tense up and her breathing stops. She's still reluctant to look at me even after I called her name, though I can't blame her. Aoi probably has no idea what's going to happen next. And if there's one thing she should know by now, it's that I'm hella spontaneous. Thank you. Okay, good. This is the real one this time. This isn't the accident one. This is the real one. I cup her wet, tear-stained face with my hands and bring her lips to mine, hopefully solving all of her worries and questions. Her face is warm in my hands from the crying, and now the huge blush falling on her face adds to the heat. My lips remember the softness of hers from our very first accidental kiss, and the memory rushes back, making me conscious of my impulsive action. But this kiss is light years different from the one that night. What was an accidental, harsh impact last time is now more of a natural and delicate touch. Butterflies are appearing and floating in my stomach, fluttering into my heart and increasing my heart rate. I didn't know I craved this feeling until now. It's been so long since I felt like this. When we part, I see Aoi in total shock, and her mouth forms an O shape, not believing what just happened. Akane? What? She just looks like she got transferred into another world, hoping I can bring her back to Earth. Why did you... Her voice is hoarse and quiet, sounding like she's about to break any second. Because apparently I like you too. It was pretty obvious. I'm glad you guys are finally understanding. But since then, I don't know. This isn't a lie, so to say. I can pinpoint when it started, but I do know that it slowly grew bigger and bigger without my permission. You're not just kissing me out of pity? Why would I kiss you because of something like that? I'm not that mean. You're the mean one, remember? How I'm unimportant to you, and how we are just employer and employee, and nothing more. Even in times like these, I can't help but teasingly bash her at her and her previously regretted words. Stop, I told you I didn't mean that. I know, I'm just joking with you. My wife just walked in. She's probably wondering why in the world I'm playing this kind of game, but can you sympathize with me a little bit? Like, look how beautiful this scene is. Like, how can you not want to play this? She pounces on me and hugs me tightly with her chin resting on my shoulders. Dang, you really missed me that much, huh? And do you have a problem with that? It's a barely audible grumble, but I can still hear her tsundere side oozing out. I hug her back, and the affectionate embrace feels great after weeks of Aoi deprivation. Gosh, that's a hard word. We stay like that on the floor for a while until she pushes me away and looks at me with fiery eyes. Move back in with me, now. Huh? I can't do that. My lease isn't up for another 2 months. I'll give them money to fast forward the lease. I don't know if it works that way. Aoi gives me her best thinking face that turns into a beaming smile. She stands up, towering above me with that somewhat evil-looking smile she first gave me some months ago. I, Mikawa Aoi, hereby rehire you as my maid, where you'll stay for at least 3 nights a week, cooking, cleaning, and most importantly, spending time with me. Huh? I love how that's just a response. Just like, huh? What do you mean? I got a modeling gig now. What do you mean? I don't want to be your maid. Even in the end, Aoi makes the rules and has me wrapped around her finger with bizarre proposals. I can already tell that the days from now on will be far more hectic than it used to be. But I won't mind. After all, this time I'll be playing along not because I have to, because I want to. Not for a stranger due to me spoiling her clothes with coffee, but for Aoi. A month later. Although I can't move back in with Aoi because of my apartment lease, you can literally just live somewhere else. You don't have to be in that apartment. Like, you can just pay it off, month by month until it's done. My duties as an unofficial maid require me to visit multiple times a week when I can, and today is the day where I give her the most exciting gift she'll ever get. Just as planned, I managed to arrive at her place before she gets home and start preparing. I adjust the last bow at the back to secure this whole outfit in place. I've been waiting weeks for this to arrive, and I've been extra careful and cautious not to spill the secret to Aoi. She should be back any moment now, so I start getting ready to be on standby and surprise her right as she walks in those doors. I'm so excited to finally do this. Speak of the devil, the door finally opens, and through it comes a tired-looking Aoi. She looks down as she takes off her shoes and changes into her house slippers, unaware of me standing right there. Tadaima. Oh my gosh. Am I allowed to show this on YouTube? Welcome home. When you like dinner, a bath, or me? Her head automatically shoots up and meets me eye to eye, and then soon travels up and down my new risque gift to her. What in the world are you wearing? Hey, do you like it? I bought it just for you, you know. Anyways, cover up yourself, please. Not even appreciating my efforts, I went through hoops to plan this out. I step even closer to her and take advantage of the open chest design. I hug her tightly, making sure... I feel comfortable reading this. Making sure my breasts are pushing up against hers and letting her fully take in the image. She seizes up and becomes as stiff as a board with her eyes still on my revealed cleavage. It's not often that people get to see this amazing body up close. Well, aside from maybe my bikini photo shoots, but that's beside the point. You should be grateful you're the only one that gets this treatment. But haha, who knew your reaction would be this strong? I totally did not expect this at all. Your face is priceless. Maybe I should do this more often, but with different outfits. I'd love to... Wait, Aoi! Nosebleed, you're having a nosebleed. Tissue. Gosh, such a common anime trope. The maid outfit plan ends up in a semi-failure, but I'm sure Aoi enjoyed the view as much as she could. Wearing the albeit skimpy outfit makes me think back to the day I became her maid and how our relationship has advanced since then. Maybe meeting Aoi that one day was a really lucky thing for me. Meeting her finally ended my curse of never-ending interviews and application rejections after all, even if the price to pay was her favorite outfit. But that's a trivial matter now. The debt is fully paid, my modeling career is in full motion, and I have a though still quite tsundere girlfriend. All thanks to me spilling coffee on her. Yeah, it's funny how that ends up, huh? Thank you for playing. Alright, so we are going to read all of this. Hello, it's Team Anpim here. Thank you for reaching the end. This year's story is kind of reminiscent of one of our previous games. I can't believe the most popular girl in school is a lesbian just like me. What with the long, light, novel-esque title and the more adventurous storyline. Fun fact, a lot of things inspired different aspects of this year's game. Akane's continued stream of interviews and her modeling dream actually came from the one and only Seina-san, and from her very first season of Terrace House, which Patio House is based off of. Random, I know. We also had some fun with their names, as we ended up with Tanaka Akane and Mikawa Aoi, simply because of how the kanji for the last name looked. They just chose it because it looked good. Akane's last name had more of a squarish look while resembling her plaid shirt, and Aoi's had only lines resembling her striped suit. Oh, that's kind of interesting. I can accept that. And of course, their names can be read as red and blue respectively. Opposites attract, am I right? Absolutely. And I played another game in the Yuri Game Jam that was kind of similar to that, where they were opposites and they attracted. It's kind of a common theme, I guess. We also felt like this year's game was an amalgamation of some of our previous games. The haters to lovers trope, from Salt to Sugar, outrageous proposals, most popular girl in school, becoming the loner's friend, one's lonesome, and adult characters, secret satiation, plus love goes towards love. Haha, I thought this was an interesting observation. I like how they put LOL in here. We've also added a new credits page where you can find the exact link to any of the background music used. People have asked about the songs used and thought this would be an easy way to find them. I actually really like the music in here, and I'll probably add some of my thoughts as I'm reading the rest of this. I actually thought this was really good. I thought the whole visual novel was great. Probably a little more reading than I thought I was going to have to do, which is fine, and I have no complaints about that. I was actually going to split this up into 2 videos, but I think I'm just going to keep it as one. It's going to be really long, though. Hopefully some of you make it to the end here. I'd really appreciate it if you did, because this is an awesome game, and I want as many people as I can to experience this, you know? Obviously, you can play the game for yourself, too. I'm sure the creator would probably appreciate that more than you watching my video, but they have a lot of other games. Obviously, as you can tell, they're referencing a lot of them that I've never even heard of before, that maybe I'll get around to playing sometime, because I really like this one, and I would love to play some more of their work. Anyways, once again, please do share this visual kinetic novel and comment if you liked it. But I can't thank you enough to those who help spread our games to their friends and family and recommend it to all those Yuri lovers. Brings us the most joy when people love our games, especially when they're all really budget and short visual kinetic novels. Until next time. See, for me, as someone who likes to play these on YouTube, I actually really like the short visual kinetic novels. Those are the ones I appreciate the best because it's really easy to just play through it. I don't have to worry about getting a certain ending. I just know that there's one route to go down and I can just sit there and enjoy it. I don't have to worry about, oh, I need to make this decision or this decision. I need to make the video about this one. I can just focus on what the story actually is about. So I appreciate that. Alright, so we got some words from the CEO. Hello, this is Udon here. Thank you again for reading until the end, and I really hope you like this one. I'm actually quite proud of this one. To be honest though, I think the story would have worked a lot better in manga form, seeing that there was a whole 95 days to cover that we didn't. I actually felt like I actually liked you skipping it. I kind of thought that's what they were going to do. This would be a really long game if you had to cover 95 days. Only a few days were shown out the 95 days, but I really tried to make it seem like it wasn't going too fast. No, I thought the pacing was great. The pacing was really good. I wouldn't have changed it. Hope that wasn't the case, but if it was, I hope you understand. I think it would have worked really well if it was a manga, webtoon, or just a longer visual novel. I think you could have done that, but you're posting this on itch.io. I actually prefer shorter games on here, and I like it because it's easy for me to just do it all in one recording. I actually split this up, if you couldn't tell, into over 2 days. I actually had to stop recording and then I continue recording and I'm stitching it together. But yeah, I ended up it got really late and I had to just do it another day. So it actually ended up being longer than I thought it was going to be. Speaking of time restraints though, I decided to work on this game a lot earlier than the start of the Yuri Game Jam. Thanks to this year's new rule addition of allowing us to work on our games earlier, I allotted 2 months time in the summer to work on it instead of starting when the Game Jam started. That was smart of you, and I think it definitely paid off because I can tell the quality of this. I worked on the game in July and August, and that was the best decision ever. They gave me more time to work on the visual novel without stressing over school, plus the game, letting me do a whole 5 CGs for this game, but I swear I still procrastinated while writing during the summer. I'm writing the afterword in November, and school has been actually killing me, and there would have been absolutely no way for me to have worked on the game all while in school. So I'm super grateful for this new rule and felt less guilty about starting early. Although it seems like I just rant about school in every afterword. I'm graduating soon, hopefully no more school rants. I mean, I really hope that you can get some kind of job in this industry, because obviously you know how to make a good visual novel. At the very least, like, I feel like you should be earning more money from this. I appreciate it though. I'm not like super rich or anything. I just like to play some good games, preferably for cheap. But I definitely feel like this was of quality that you could have charged for. Like, I'm just gonna be honest with you. As our next game, yes, it'll finally be the long-awaited Kaide spin-off. I think I said spin-off. I'm sorry. Like, after reading for a while, my voice just like comes kind of hoarse. And I've kind of had a sore in my throat too, which has been really making it hard to commentate, but this game's just so good, I'm willing to deal with it. The story you've all been waiting for, but since you guys have been waiting for so long, I feel like I have to make it really good, or else everyone will be disappointed. And I love how they keep saying LOL. Like, okay, there's at least one on this side, and I see at least 2 on the right side of the page. Either way, next game will be Kaide for sure, so please look forward to that. As for those who don't know who Kaide is, she is a character from Salt to Sugar, and people really loved her and wanted her own spin-off. Dang, I'm gonna have to play that game then, since you're making I guess, a little bit of an addition to it. And people really loved her and wanted her own spin-off. I actually kind of miss writing a high school setting, so it'd be a nice change of pace again. Honestly though, you can make another high school game, but please make another game like this. I really like that it's an older setting. And apparently they're my same age. They're both 24, which I thought was so cool. I really like this. I would tell you to keep doing stuff like this. Don't waste your time with the school settings, you know. But that's just me. That's just my opinion. I love your work. It's been good so far. I'll have to play some more. Thank you for playing. Okay, so let's finish that. I just want to check out I think the credits, or let's see, gallery. Oh, how do I look at all of the rest? Oh, next CG. Okay. So we got the first accidental kiss. Got them at the beach. I really like that one. I think the beach one was awesome. And then we have that one, of course, which I loved. And then we have that one, which hopefully doesn't get me banned from YouTube. But anyways. Oh, well, I'm just clicking through buttons now. But anyways, guys, I hope you appreciated that. That was, my dream is to be a model, not a maid. And she ended up getting to be both. So that was great. Let's see. I kind of explained a lot of my overall thoughts. I'll probably write a review on itch.io. I usually do that, and then I post my video on there just so people can see it, you know? But I really enjoyed this game. I felt this was awesome. It made me really want to play a lot of their other works, because if they're as good as this, like, I'm missing out by not playing them. So definitely check them out. Give them some support. If you watched me play it, like, I would really recommend going on their itch.io page and giving it a 5-star. You can rate it without having played it. Just give them a good review. Like, they did a good job on this, let's be honest. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you if you made it all the way through. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.